interesting here in Bozeman. The second key is a tempo. The Bobcats have gotta own the tempo here tonight, and the way you own the tempo is you own the glass. In Missoula, the Griz out-rebounded Montana State by 14 rebounds and had 10 on the offensive end. That is just completely beyond any comprehension. I have no idea how that happened. Cannot happen again. Bobcats need to win on the glass by 10. If the Bobcats hold Montana to 6 or fewer made threes and they win on the glass by 10, they don't win this in a squeaker. They blow Montana off the floor by double digits.
Montana State on the men's side is trying to sweep the Grizzlies for the first time since 2010. And if Montana State wins today, it would be the first time that the men and women combined to go 4-0 against the Grizzlies since 1999. So some big-time milestones on the line for Montana State today, and it has certainly turned into the atmosphere you would expect with all that's on the line today between Montana State and Montana. All right, let's get to our Wheat Montana weather report today. Outside right now, it's a beautiful 30 degrees, but hold on to that 30 degrees because it is going to get bitterly cold next week, and we are going to get a ton of snow starting tomorrow. But for now, nice there, and it is hot in this stadium. It always is. It always gets warm, but once you get 6,000 plus in here, that's when this place really starts to heat up, and this place is going to be absolutely rocking today between Montana State and Montana. All right, before we get our starting lineups and our tip-off tonight, let's pause 10 seconds for our network station identification. This is Bobcat basketball. I'm Keaton Galogly alongside Brian Freeby. Will Gordon is back in the studios today as our producer, and we are just about set for Montana State and Montana today. The Bobcats coming in at 18-9. They are 11-3 in Big Sky play. The Grizzlies are 14-12. They are 8-6 in conference action. A check of the First Interstate Bank scoreboard today. Eastern Washington defeats Northern Colorado 89-77. So Eastern Washington is 15-0 in Big Sky play, the greatest Big Sky start ever in conference history. Previously it was a 14-0 start by Montana about 12 years ago. Sac State leading Idaho State right now 64-62. Northern Arizona defeats Idaho 72-50, and Weber State and Portland State getting ready to tip off in an hour. All right, we will take one final break. When we get back, we'll have the starting lineups and tip-off between Montana State and Montana. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield.
At this time, please stand and remove your hats for the singing of championship falls in the air.
Uh-oh.
Worthington Arena as electric as can be. They've got a cell phone light show going. They've got the Big Sky fireworks pyrotechnics ready to rock. They've got the highlight video going up on the board, and we are just about ready for Cat Griz, another edition of the Brawl of the Wild between Montana State and Montana. Town Pump, the exclusive sponsor of today's Brawl of the Wild matchup between the Bobcats and the Grizzlies, invites you to visit the Town Pump store this weekend for gas and groceries. Safe travels from Town Pump. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups, and we will begin first with the visiting Montana Grizzlies. Travis DeCure in his 9th season at the helm of Montana. He was 6-2 against Montana State as a player. He's 12-3 as a coach, but did lose in the first meeting earlier this year with the Bobcats winning 67-64. For the guards for Montana, it's Lonell Martin, Anand Moody, who's been absolutely electric from the three-point line as of late, and Brandon Whitney, who had a huge first half against the Bobcats in Missoula, but Montana State was able to slow them down a bit after that. And then it's Josh Bannon and Deshaun Thomas in the front court, although both can really step out and stroke it as well. For Montana State, their starting lineup, Darius Brown is the point guard and one of the guys that certainly will be in discussion for Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky. He's joined to the backcourt along with Tyler Patterson, who's hit multiple threes in 3 consecutive games now, so he's been heating up. Raekwon Battle back there as well. He's been the star everybody expected. Caleb Fuller is at the 4, and Jabril Bello is at the 5, looking to bounce back, getting announced right now, walking through his teammates, accepting high fives with that big bandage on his left hand. All right, here we go. It's Montana State and Montana today, and we are just about ready for hoops. Ryan, you ready to go?
Without question, ready to go. You know, when you think about Montana, we've talked about you got to take away the 3. One of the keys to do that is Brandon Whitney and Amon Moody's ability to penetrate and draw defensive help and kick out. Bobcats didn't do a very good job of handling their penetration for a half, and Missoula were able to make the adjustments. Got to keep that going here tonight.
Our officials tonight, Jimmy Cassis, Mark Beasley, Tommy Johnson. So those are the 3 in the black and white today. Montana is in the maroon jerseys with white font and numbers outlined in silver. Montana State back in their traditional whites today. Navy blue numbers on the front and the back outlined in gold. It is at capacity in Worthington Arena. This is what it's all about right now. Montana State trying to secure the number 2 seed in the Big Sky tournament and trying to sweep the Grizzlies for the first time since 2010. All right, ready to go. Thomas and Bello at center court. And we are ready for our Prime Lending tip-off. Prime Lending, home loans made simple. The ball is tossed in the air, and the tip is won by the Montana State Bobcats. And here we go from Rick Breeden Arena. Montana State with the first touch to our left. Raekwon Battle takes a handoff and works his way to the right elbow. Pulls up with a jumper. Missed it. Bello the rebound down to the left block. Back it into Thomas. Turns. Hooks it up. Got blocked and fouled. And Jabril Bello will go to the line. And probably a good thing here for Bello. Get that foul. Get to the line and try to find your footing. Hopefully he's not thinking about it, but I know Bobcat fans are. It's been a week, but that was a tough game for him last Saturday.
Without question, and you saw Jabril get that rebound and immediately make an aggressive move. Nice thing about offensive rebounds, it doesn't allow the defense to come double you and gets Bello an opportunity to score.
First free throw is good. The Bobcats open the scoring with a free throw. That was Deshaun Thomas that picked up his first foul. Remember, very, very tight rotation for Montana, so if there is some foul trouble, that would certainly hinder Montana's ability to be successful. Bello knocks down the first 2 free throws today, and Montana State has a 2-0 lead. Brandon Whitney races his way into the front court, picked up by Darius Brown. Whitney over to the left wing. Hands it off to Anand Moody, who's averaging 22 points a game during the Montana 5-game winning streak. Gives it to Thomas, back to Moody, off a screen, picked up by Fuller out of the right wing. Thrown back to the top with 8 to shoot. Around a band on the left wing, picked up by Bello at the free throw line. He tries a free throw line jumper, that's no good. The Bobcats get a stop and the rebound. Montana State up 2-0 over the Grizzlies. Fuller into the lane. Lobs it back out toward Darius Brown, who's coming off a star performance in Pocatello. Brown weaving to the corner. Throws over to Tyler Patterson. Now down to Bello. Draws a double team on the right block. Kicks it out to Battle. Into the left corner. Fuller. His three ball. No, just a bit short. Great look. Didn't fall.
Good ball movement for Montana State so far on both possessions. They've had also this extended defense. You can see them guarding out at 33 feet, trying to keep Montana from shooting those threes.
Montana knocking down 9 threes a game in Big Sky play, tops in conference action. Moody with 10 to shoot, bounces into the post, give it to Banny, kicks out to the left corner. That got tipped. It is out of bounds. Staying here with Montana with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Bobcats leading 2-0 with 18:30 to go in the first half.
Boy, and the focus and intensity and communication on this defensive end for the Bobcats is as good as I've seen it all season long, and it's what they need to be doing heading into the tournament.
Inbounds to the top. Bannon tries to drive, gets into the mid-post, turns, contested jumper, missed it, no good. Jabril Bello had some tremendous defense, and Montana State has the rebound. Brown throws out to the right wing for Fuller, looking for the post. Doesn't have Bello, hands off for Battle. Battle out of the right wing, drives, gets into the middle of the lane, forces it up, no, but draws the foul. Anon Moody picking up the foul, and Raekwon Battle will head to the line for his first free throws today.
Gotta love that Montana State's drawn 2 quick early fouls, and probably on the 2 most important Grizzly players, Moody and Deshaun Thomas, each with 1. Just changes a little bit of that complex. When you're expecting to play 38 minutes, fouls are not very helpful to do that.
We'd like to recognize Intermountain Health, formerly known as SCL Health, here in Big Sky Country as the associate sponsor of tonight's game. Intermountain Health is proud to be an official health partner of Bobcat Athletics. Battle lining up the second of the 2 free throws and knocks it down while sporting some fresh new white Montana State tube socks with a big block M on them. Here's Whitney trying to turn the corner down to the right baseline, and that is a whistle. Ooh, they called the foul on Battle. Looked like Whitney used kind of a forearm there, but instead Raekwon Battle is hit with his first foul. And you kind of brought this up, Brian. Tight whistles early on.
Yeah, and you see this crew is going to call it tight. So both teams need to adjust quickly, or you're going to find yourself with fouls in places you do not want them.
And now Lonell Martin Jr. takes the inbounds pass. He slipped in the corner and had that ball rolled out of bounds. Turnover by the Grizzlies. Back to the Bobcats, leading 4-0 with 18 minutes to go in the first half.
Boy, and that's a rare thing to see, is just a basketball player fall down. You see it in football a lot where the spikes aren't quite right, but man, that was an unusual turnover for the Griz.
Montana State with the ball to our left. Caleb Fuller has it up at the top of the key. Weaves over to the right wing and hands it off for Battle. Backs it out, picked up by a double team. Bounces it to Fuller. He steps to his right, tries a 3. That one's no good. And Caleb Fuller still has not hit a 3-point field goal since January 26th. Montana with the ball to our right. Brandon Whitney up at the top. Weaves over to the left wing. Bounce into the post. Thomas against Brown. Mismatch here. And Brown picked his pocket. Darius Brown with his 50th steal of the year. Into the lane in transition. Gives to Fuller. Goes up and draws the foul. Blocking foul by Montana. And how about Darius Brown giving up about a foot to Deshaun Thomas? Pulled the chair out from behind him. Grabbed that ball. Stole it loose. His 50th steal of the year. 2 more to tie for 10th most in a single season in program history.
Yeah, tremendous play. It's just his ability to anticipate that is everything, right? He knew he wasn't going to be able to defend Thomas one-on-one, so he takes the chance, goes for the ball, rips it clean, and off the Bobcats go the other way.
Fuller's free throw is good. Bobcats right now have collected all 5 of their early points at the stripe, leading 5-0 with 17:22 to go in the first half.
I don't know if I've ever seen a game where the first 6 points came from the line.
Now you have, as Fuller hits both of his free throws. The Bobcats start 6 of 6 from the stripe tonight. Montana State up 6-0 over the Grizzlies with 17:25 to go in the first half. Whitney trying to penetrate. That ball knocked free again by Brown. Loose and stolen away. Raekwon Battle in transition. Euro steps in and finishes with the right hand. Oh, and they called a travel. Extra step.
It definitely the right call, but there definitely could have been a foul that led to the travel, which obviously the Bobcat faithful were hoping for. But Montana State's defense is just swarming the Griz. they can't make a shot, and when they can even get a shot off. Right now, 3 turnovers in 5 possessions.
More turnovers than field goals attempted. Now this one tipped free. Tyler Patterson with a steal. He throws ahead. Darius Brown finger rolls it in. Patterson the steal. Brown the lay-in. And the Grizzlies will take a timeout as a sold-out Worthington Arena rises to their feet. Montana State up 8-0 with 16:49 to go in the first half. That is the start the Bobcats were looking for, Brian.
Yeah, you can't draw up a better start than 8-0 and a start where you've got 4 forced turnovers and you've only let the other team shoot twice.
The Bobcats need your support to go for the win. Donate to the Bobcat Club's 3 to Win campaign to help us reach our $3 million goal supporting student athletes. We remind you that all 3-point field goals by the Bobcats are sponsored by Wendy's, and all assists by Montana State are sponsored by Aware Mental Health Services. So a quick 30-second timeout for Montana, and they're going to change a couple of things up. They'll bring in Lalo Oki, one of their big front court players, a 5th-year junior, and they've also brought in Josh Vasquez, a sharpshooter from the 3-point line. He's been a little up and down this year, and now another quick substitution of Jackson Knapp, although he did not get to the scorer's table quickly enough. Brandon Whitney looks like he wants to check back in. Mac Anderson is into the game, the Bozeman native. He has not played a ton lately due to injury and with the rotation tightening up.
And this is really interesting because I've watched every Griz tape since we beat them, and I do not remember a possession, one single possession with 3 bench players on the floor at the same time. So those fouls and turnovers lead Travis DeCure to try and mix it up, something he has not done in at least a month.
Anon Moody with his first 3 ball and knocks it down with a hand in his face. Anon Moody, his first 3 of the day. He's shooting 42% from downtown and already ready to get into it with the crowd.
And he's shooting 60% from 3 over his last 5 games, so he has been absolutely on fire.
Brown throws it into Jabril Bello, posted up, down on the right block, backing down against Anderson, lefty hook, a little bit too strong, and the rebound grabbed by Moody and Montana. Grizzlies from left to right, thrown out to Whitney on the right wing, weaves up to the top, and that's stolen away. Look out, here comes Raekwon Battle, big time slam! 2-hand jam, Raekwon Battle in transition.
And the 5th Grizzly turnover in the first 4 minutes of play.
Now Whitney into the post, nowhere to go, denied by Brown. Hand off to Moody, throws around to the right wing, Whitney trying to drive. Ooh, almost a foul called on Brown. That was the old balk by the official. Left corner 3 from Vasquez reigns in. Got off a screen, and Josh Vasquez, who does get hot and cold, starts hot with a 3-ball today. Bobcats leading 10-6 over the Grizzlies. 15:23 to go in the first half.
And the Bobcats have got to tighten up that 3-point defense. That cannot be a thing that gives Montana life.
Into the post, Battle by himself, pump fake, lays it up, no, but draws the foul. His defender had slipped, and Raekwon Battle will go to the line as Lalo Oki picks up his first foul. An electrifying start in Bozeman, and Montana State right now leading 10-6 over Montana with 15:14 to go in the first half. We're taking a break for the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. Simpkins Holland believes in building the Gallatin Valley's future while continuing to honor its past. For all your building needs, go to where long-standing traditions have met quality building products for over 75 years. Simpkins Holland, a Montana tradition among builders since 1946. Now, Brian, Montana State leading 10-6 over Montana. 15-14 to go in the first half. And, you know, Montana staying in it with a couple of threes. Bobcats feel like they have a just insane amount of momentum, but it's just a 4-point game.
It really is, and that is the great equalizer for the Griz, is their ability to shoot the three. Amon, Moody, and Vasquez each got one so far. The Griz are 0 for from the field, except they're 2 for 2 from behind the arc.
Yeah, it's a big difference between these two teams. You know, Montana is basically hitting double the three-point field goals Montana State is in Big Sky play. Great Osabor checking in for Caleb Fuller, and it looks like Robert Ford will check in here momentarily, presumably for Raekwon Battle, who is going to the free throw line here. A little confusion on these substitutions all around coming out of that timeout. And looks like we're good to go now. All right, Raekwon Battle going to the stripe for a couple of free throws. His first is good. Battle 81% from the free throw line this season. With that free throw, he is now up to 5 points today, and he's approaching 1,000 career points. He's up to 923 and now 924 as that free throw goes in. Just over 750 of those here at Montana State after transferring from Washington. And now we've got a whistle, foul, away from the ball. They will give that to Robert Ford. I did not see it. It was quite a distance away from where the ball was, so Robert Ford picks up his first foul.
And it's funny because Amon Moody went up to Cassis during that timeout and said they're holding the off screens, and Cassis immediately calls it, which is kind of par for this crew so far. They've called it tight. You've got 5 team fouls in 5 minutes already.
Montana inbounds on their own baseline. Vasquez has it out of the right wing. Vasquez picks up the dribble and gives it to Moody, who's already hit his first three today. Now thrown to Bannon. He gets stopped left of the lane. Back out to Anderson at the top, and again to Bannon. 8 to shoot. Handoff to Vasquez at the top. Now 5. Given to Moody. 4. Moody pulls up with a 15-footer. Rimming. No. Rebound won by Montana on a funky hop. Back to the left wing. That three is good, but an offensive foul. Take the three ball off the board. An offensive foul on a non-Moody on that three.
And they called it on Moody.
That's his second now.
Uh-huh.
Here's the replay. Oh, he kicked his leg out to Ford, then kind of landed and almost pulled Ford down.
Wow. That's a
gutsy call.
Big call.
That's his second foul.
And they didn't get him out of the game in time, so Montana State has a chance here if they can isolate him to pick up a third. That
is a massive call. Big break for the Bobcats. Montana State with the ball. They work offensively to our left. The Cats up 12-6, 14:25 to go in the first half. Here's Bello down to the right block, backing down against Anderson. Kicks it out. Brown, then back to Bello. Had it stripped. Ooh, that should have been a foul. Doesn't matter. Picked up by Montana. Bannon has it from left to right in the road. Maroon Unis. Bannon to the right elbow. Trying to back down against Fuller. Throws it up to the top for Anderson. Trying to get rid of it. Still trying. Oh, and they called a foul on Darius Brown. Brown kind of reached behind him and just lightly grazed the forearm of Mac Anderson. All right, tight whistle day.
Yeah, and again, the players got to adjust to it. They've been very consistent. They're extremely tight. It's not even a tight whistle. This is like if you breathe on a guy, they're blowing the whistle. So make the adjustment and don't do it.
So you're going to have to adjust that defense, bring the intensity, but take that extra half step back. Montana resets with 20 on the shot clock, trailing 12-6. Whitney out of the left wing, picked up by Ford. Crosses over to the free throw line, gets down to the right block, forces it up, got it to go. Boy, tough finish for Brandon Whitney, but a nice job by Ford. Just stay back, keep your hands up. You'd rather have him hit a shot than pick up too many fouls.
Yeah, and they're not going to beat you 2 at a time. They're going to beat you because you give up threes.
Fuller out of the right wing. Gives it to Osabor, playing with Bello. Osabor into the lane, down to the left block, puts it up, whistle, and travel. Turnover by Montana State. Also, by the way, just saw a big portion of the football team walking by us. They will be unveiling the Big Sky Championship banner today at halftime. So that'll be a great opportunity for everybody to get loud again at halftime as they unveil that Big Sky Football Championship banner today. Grizzlies with the basketball to our right. Bannon to the left elbow. Throws it up to Whitney. Whitney moving left into the lane, down to the mid post, kicks it back out to the top. Thomas bounces it into Bannon, posted up against Osabor, shoulder to chest, spin to the left shoulder, righty hook shot, no good, tip back, no, fight for the rebound, and Osabor wins it. Montana State with the board, they move from right to left, leading by 4. Ford into the lane, kicks it back out, and Brown will set it up for the Bobcats. Montana State up 12-8, 13 minutes to go in the first half. Brown out in the right wing, gives to Ford, looking for the post, finds Osabor down to the right baseline. Osabor one-on-one against Thomas. Osabor tried to back down with 8 to shoot. Back it into the lane. 7, hops, goes up, draws the foul, and Osabor will go to the line. That foul, they put that on Moody. Oh, Bannon rather, excuse me. They put that on Bannon.
Yeah, Bannon came in from the backside, tried to block the shot. Osabor draws the contact. Montana's got a good scout going on great. They're taking away that right shoulder, even though he's a right-handed player. Most right-handed players want to go left shoulder, but not great Osabor. He wants to go left shoulder, or right shoulder.
First free throw is no good. Yeah, Osabor and Bello, they both kind of like using that left hand, even though they're righties.
Yeah, it's really uncommon, but Montana's doing a nice job of trying to take that away. I love the attacking Thomas in the post, though. If you pick up that second on Thomas and Moody, it's about as good as it could get.
That free throw is good from great Osabor. He splits the pair. Bobcats have scored 9 of their 13 points at the stripe. They lead 13-8 over the Grizzlies with 12:40 to go in the first half. Whitney out on the left wing. Flings it up to Oki at the top. Hand off again to Whitney. Whitney crossing over into the lane. We got a whistle and an offensive foul. Oki with an illegal screen against Robert Ford, and Lalo Oki has picked up his second foul. So 2 Grizzlies in this very tight rotation have picked up a pair of personal fouls.
And the 7th Griz turnover. One of the better teams in the league at taking care of the basketball. They've got 7 turnovers in just over 7 minutes.
They are tops in the Big Sky during conference play in assist to turnover ratio. Grizzlies are. Ford leans in, lays it, no, and draws a foul. And that'll send Robert Ford to the stripe. Brandon Whitney picking up his first foul. And with a very tightly officiated game, the Bobcats are forcing the issue and getting downhill.
Yeah, and that's a great play by Robert Ford. He recognizes the whistle, and he says, I can take it in here anytime I want. I just got to draw any kind of contact, and I'm going to shoot free throws.
The first one is good. Bobcat basketball is presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's of Montana. Download the McDonald's app for free large fries every men's Cats basketball game day. Ford with his first point at the stripe, now looking for his second. This shot is up, rimming, and good. Pair of free throws for Ford. Bobcats lead the Grizzlies 15-8, 12-18 to go in the first half. Vasquez out on the right wing. Ball moved around the perimeter to Whitney on the left side. Handoff up the top for Lonell Martin. To Thomas, to Vasquez, all beyond the arc. Vasquez on the right side, trying to drive on Battle, gets into the lane, forces it up, and got it to go. Josh Vasquez, 5 early points. He only averages just over 5 a game.
And Vasquez there does a nice job. Again, he recognizes the whistle, so he takes it in. Battle doesn't want to get that second. Vasquez gets a good look.
Ford, fall away Jay on the baseline, just a bit short. Offensive rebound by Osabor, and he draws a jump ball. A jump ball, and the possession area will go to the Grizzlies, but either way, a great effort by Osabor on the offensive glass. All right, let's take a break in the 305th Cat Griz. Montana State leading 15-10 over Montana with 11:44 to go in the first half. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball, presented by Learfield. Town Pump is a proud sponsor of the Brawl the Wild rivalry series between Montana State and the University of Montana. It's all sports all season long. Look for special Brawl the Wild promotions at your local Town Pump. Bobcats leading 15-10 over the Grizzlies. 11:44 to go in the first half. And with it being Cat Griz, they busted out the 300-pound Brawl of the Wild trophy. And they just did a big lap during that last break with about 6 or 7 different guys carrying that thing around.
I don't want to be the guys that got to carry it back up to the football building and put it back on its display. It's a long way to carry that. That thing is huge.
Yeah, they had like 8 guys. I saw Justice Perkins, David Alston, Tommy Sullivan, Tommy Millot, Cleveland Thomas, and 1 or 2 other guys. It was like 8 guys carrying that thing. But hey, it takes a team to win it. It takes a team to move it. And that was beautifully done by the marketing department. That's how you ramp this place up, bringing that Brawl the Wild trophy around on Cat Griz in front of a sold-out Worthington Arena. We're getting some standing room only vibes here. All the way up at the top of the seats on the opposite side from where we're sitting right now. I mean, there's just some people standing up there by where the banners are that kind of cover the windows that are at the top of this massive arena. All right, here we go. Montana with the basketball coming out of the timeout. 11:40 to go in the first half. Bobcats lead 15-10 over the Grizzlies. Montana State has had most of the momentum, but they haven't really opened up much of a lead yet. Thomas to the top, looking to get rid of it. Hands it off for Martin. Bumped up at the top of the key. Martin with the dribble. Throws it down to Thomas against Patterson. Deshaun Thomas backing down. Draws a double pass. Tip free. Darius Brown knocked it away. And Montana State from right to left. Brown bouncing into the post. Osabor on the right block. Spins to his left shoulder. Back to his right. Posting up into the lane. Slips and traveled. Yeah, just lost his footing. We've seen that a couple of times today. It is pretty warm in here, and you wonder if there's some moisture kind of collecting on the floor right now.
Yeah, there might be there. But Great also just kind of, I think, lost his balance. I think he got a little bit excited to potentially draw that second foul on Deshaun Thomas. Unable to do so, and the Bobcats commit their 4th turnover.
Montana State leading by 5. Grizzlies with a basketball. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Brandon Whitney hands it off to Mac Anderson, the Bozeman native. Gives it to Vasquez. Still beyond the arc. Hands off to Whitney out at the perimeter. Moving to the right wing. Whitney with the bounce against Fuller. Whitney into the lane. Step back elbow jumper. Little flat, and that's no good. Caleb Fuller cleans the rebound. Montana State from right to left leading 15-10. Brown up to the top with his head up. Throws to Fuller. Hands it off for Patterson coming off a screen. Back up to Brown and resets. Brown to his left around an Osabor screen. Steps into the elbow. Picks up the dribble. Bounce into Osabor down to the left block against Anderson. Goes up. Missed it. And foul. A foul called on Mac Anderson. That's his first. And Osabor will go back to the line. Bobcats will be taking their 13th and 14th free throws. Montana has not shot a single one at the stripe yet.
When you shot twice as many free throws as field goals, that means you're being aggressive and you got a crew that's calling it tight. The amazing thing about this is almost every Grizzly foul, all but 2, have led to 2 shots.
First free throw is good from Osabor, who is 2 for 3 from the stripe today. And it's been a lot of different guys. Fuller has a pair of free throws. Osabor has 2. Battles 4 for 4. Bello and Ford have each hit 2 apiece. Osabor lines up the next. This one is up and good. Hits them both. Bobcats efficient at the stripe in the early going. 13-14. First 10 minutes of the ball game, Montana State leads by 7. Grizzlies with it to our right. Give it to Vasquez out on the right wing. And now we've got a whistle and a foul away from the ball. And Raekwon Battle hit with his second foul. And that'll bring Nick Zalis in. Battle frustrated, he's got to come off the floor. Felt like his arm had gotten grabbed there.
And Montana brings back Moody and goes really, really small. Bannon at the 5 with 4 guards out there. So Montana could not probably play a much smaller lineup than they have on the court right now.
They're not super deep, but they are fairly versatile. And now Tyler Patterson will be tagged for foul. Ooh, and then Moody kind of said something to Patterson. Patterson said something back. And that's the type of thing the officials are certainly going to be keeping an eye on as Patterson picks up his first foul.
Yeah, and Moody better be smart because he picks up a technical. That's a personal. That'd be his 3rd. So you get chirping a little bit. Just not a smart thing when you're sitting there with 2 fouls.
Yeah, if you're a guy like Nick Gazelis, it wouldn't be bad to start getting into a shouting match with him and kind of try to bait him. Handoff up at the top. Lonell Martin with the dribble. 8 to shoot. Martin gives it to Vasquez on the left wing. 5. Vasquez tries a contested 3. That's no good. Rebound. Won by Bannon underneath. Goes back up with the left hand and is able to finish. Josh Bannon off the offensive rebound picks up his first 2 points. He averages 15 a game. Into the post, Osabor down to the left block. Throws it back out to Patterson. Into Osabor to repost on the left baseline. Draws a double. His pass knocked free, and it's stolen by the Grizzlies. Montana with the ball from left to right, trailing by 5. Right corner 3, in and out, and Montana State has the rebound. Bobcats lead it 17-12. 9:18 to go in the first half. Montana State just 2 of 7 from the field. Montana 5 of 12. They've hit 2 3-point field goals. Osabor out of the right elbow. Now into the post. Here's Gonzalez against Moody. Throws back out to Patterson at the top. Only 6 to shoot. Got to hurry here. Given to Brown. 4. Brown to the free throw line. 3. Tries the jumper. Missed it off the glass. And Montana has the rebound. The Bobcats slow offensively here. Out to Vasquez. Drives to the right wing. Easy path, and he lays it in. And a timeout called by Danny Sprinkle. Josh Vasquez able to lay it in. He's having a big game. Big mistake by the Bobcats defensively there. 8:45 left in the first half. We're keeping it here with Montana State up 17-14 over the Grizzlies, and a prime lending timeout here by Danny Sprinkle. But, you know, again, Brian, Montana State feels like they should have a bigger lead than they do in this game.
Yeah, they should, but they haven't been able to do much in terms of building it, and the Grizzlies have hit timely shots. They hit the pair of 3s to keep it close early. Now they hit back-to-back scores to cut it back to a 3-point game. Kind of feels like the women's game earlier, honestly, where Montana State felt like they were in control the whole time. They could just never kind of get that margin to 10, 12, 15 and make you feel like it was going to be a blowout.
That was kind of what happened in the Weber game. Montana State played really well early, but never was really able to open up a double-digit or healthy lead, and Weber came back and won that game. Montana parents know parenting isn't easy. ParentingMontana.org provides you with a way to build the skills your child needs to be successful. ParentingMontana.org, tools for your child's success. Bobcats lead 17-14 over the Grizzlies. 8:40 to go in the first half. It's Montana State basketball moving from right to left in the home white unis. Brown curls to the elbow, throws to Gonzalez in the right corner. Lob into the post for Bello against Bannon. Steps into the paint, had his pocket picked from behind, and a steal by the Grizzlies, and then they called a foul. Who's it going to be on? Jabril Bello. Jabril Bello picks up his first foul. It was one of those ones where Vasquez kind of slowed down, let Bello run in behind him.
Yeah, smart play by Vasquez there. You know you got the big guy. He's not going to be able to slow down. You can pick up a cheap foul in transition. Bobcats' next foul will put them in the bonus. So the foul thing has started to even out in terms of number, but the Bobcats still with 14 attempts from the line. Griz yet to get there.
Montana State up 17-14, 8:19 to go in the first half. Grizzlies with the ball. Whitney into the paint, puts up a runner. No, and a foul. Gonzalez got him on the forearm as he swiped down. And that'll be the first foul on Nick Gonzalez. Free throws for Brandon Whitney coming first. Free throws of the game for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy call. You could see the forearm slap there by Nick Gonzalez. Whitney's a tough guard because he gets in there deep and then he has just enough fade on that jump shot to make it hard to contest his shot. He's a good finisher, and that's what Montana's needed to kind of stay tight. It's Whitney's penetration.
Whitney knocks down the first of the 2 free throws. He's coming off an 18-point game against Weber State in their last contest. He went 8 of 10 from the field, and he had scored 17 points in the first meeting back in Missoula on January 21st when Montana State won that one by 3. Whitney's free throw is good, and he makes it a 1-point game. Montana State 17, University of Montana 16. Just over 8 minutes to go in the first half. It's Bobcat basketball.
And the Cats really have not found an offensive rhythm whatsoever other than drawing fouls.
Patterson lets a 3 go. Just off the inside of the iron. Bello the board, back up. Nobody draws the foul on Josh Bannon, and Bannon has picked up his second. So Moody, Bannon, and Oki all have 2 personal fouls, and that will take us to a break from the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 7:59 to go in the first half. Bobcats will be shooting free throws when we come back as they lead 17-16 over the Grizzlies. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. Fame. These are the guys who were inducted yesterday.
Last night we had the honor to welcome 9 new members to our Bobcat Hall of Fame. Please give a big hand for John Larrick, rodeo. Katie Bussey, women's basketball. Lonnie Burke, football and wrestling. Jeff Hansen, football. John Woods, track and field. Jim Lockwood, wrestling. Caleb Schreibice, football. Emily Tyrell, track and field. And of course, Jody Owens, football. Congratulations on your amazing achievements and thank you for everything you have done for Bobcat Athletics. Bet Body Fitness is Montana's #1 provider of premium fitness equipment. Visit the new store in Four Corners, talk to an expert and try out a treadmill. We offer delivery and service too. The Better Body Fitness is Bozeman's best place to get home exercise equipment.
At Montana's Rib and Chop House, our staff is dedicated to creating extraordinary experiences that raise the bar in each of our communities. Enjoy premium steaks, fresh seafood, and award-winning baby back ribs. We look forward to sharing a little Rocky Mountain hospitality with you. Worthington Arena is packed to the rafters today. Montana State leading at 17-16 over Montana with 7:59 to go in the first half. Ryan, what do you say?
And the PA guy just said that it's officially a sellout.
Oh,
so
cool.
every single seat inside the brick is full. I see the Bobcats just a little bit out of sorts offensively. It's kind of weird to say when you get to the free throw line so much, sometimes you're just not finding the continuity offensively because you're not running much offense. They've only taken 9 shots in the game. So Bobcats got to find that continuity. You're not going to be at the free throw line, 50, 60 times tonight most likely. On the defensive end, though, got to continue to focus in on Moody. This is a small Montana lineup. They've got 3 really good shooters out there, and then Whitney's penetration. So Bobcats got to stay home on the 3.
Jabril Bello going to the stripe for Montana State. He's got 2 shots coming up. Bello's first is due. It is up and no good. Bobcat basketball is brought to you in part by Kendall Ford, Lincoln of Bozeman, a proud sponsor of Montana State Athletics. From your seat at the game to your driver's seat, enjoy every minute. When you're ready for something new, get started at KendallFordBozeman.com. Kendall, let's start something great. Bello missed his first free throw, shooting 79% from the stripe in Big Sky play. This next shot is up and good, so he splits the pair. 3 points today. Bello, 2 wins, 3 losses in the Brawl of the Wild rivalry series in his time at Montana State, and a chance to get back to 500 with the win today. Bannon out of the right wing. Works his way to the free throw line, gets down to the left block, goes up, no, and a foul. Foul called on Jabril Bello, and that's his second. And that'll put Bannon at the line.
Yeah, it felt like a tough call. Bello is one of the best in the business about going straight vertical and using that rule of verticality. Cassis thought differently on the baseline and popped the whistle, and Bello's got a pair.
Because you can jump to try to defend. You just can't come down, and you can't jump into the offensive player. First free throw is good for Bannon. Sometimes you see those fouls called, and it looks like their hands are up, but they kind of jumped in. You see their body moving in. Certainly looked like he jumped pretty straight up to the rafters, but our opinion doesn't count.
It definitely doesn't. Bello's really good at that, though. I just think he's one of the best out there at it. But he'll have a seat with those 2 fouls.
Bannon knocks down both. Things are going to get interesting in this one. Ton of foul trouble on both sides, which you could see brewing early with the way they were calling this game. Moody, Bannon, Oki all with 2 for the Grizzlies. Bello and Battle with 2 for the Bobcats. Montana State with the ball. Brown drives and gives it to Osabor at the free throw line, working against Mac Anderson, and has to get rid of it out to Brown. Brown throws it inside. Ford hands it off underneath. Osabor floats it up. They're going to call that a foul on the floor before he gathered for the shot. So another foul on Montana, and this one is on Lonell Martin Jr. That'll be his second, and even though he wasn't in the act of shooting, he will still get 2 free throws as Grizzlies have 10 team fouls. Actually 11 technically.
technically 11, yeah. And that's the choices there were Mac Anderson or Lionel Martin. And for Montana State, you'd definitely rather see that go to Lionel Martin. Not that Mac Anderson isn't a good player and everything, but he's just not the offensive scorer that Martin can be.
First free throw is good for Osibor. He's now 4 of 5 from the free throw line. 15 of the 19 points for the Bobcats at this moment have come from the charity stripe. Next shot is up and good. Make it 16 of 20 at the free throw line. And then a turnover by Montana. Mac Anderson stepped over the baseline right in front of the student section.
Yeah, and that's just a play by Darius Brown. He lingered in behind Whitney, and when Mac Anderson goes to throw it, he doesn't have his balance. He steps forward, and it's the Griz 9th turnover.
Montana State inbounds with a 2-point lead. Osibor spins, goes up, and they called a foul. Oh, that was a late foul. I thought it was pretty clear, but it was a late one. And now Deshaun Thomas has picked up 2 personal fouls. The 6'9" forward who can also shoot the lights out from 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Big foul call there on him. And that was a late whistle. Maybe we just couldn't hear it because of how loud this sellout crowd is.
I don't know. I was looking for the arm. I saw the arm. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt, Brian. You're a generous man. Osibor's first free throw is good. But that means 4 of the 5 starters for Montana have 2 personal fouls in the first half.
And a team that wants to play 6 guys, maybe 7 a little bit. So they're in a situation, 7:21 to go. They've got to somehow navigate the foul trouble. I wouldn't be surprised to see DeCure play a little bit zone defense here and just try and mitigate this foul trouble.
Osibor now with 7 points today, all at the free throw line. Bobcats leading by 4, up 22-18 with 7 minutes to go in the first half. Grizzlies with the ball to our right. Handoff over at the left wing. Martin throws it back up top for Thomas. Given to Vasquez, trying to drive on Osibor, going to the cup, lays it, no! Osibor effected the shot, Bobcats with the rebound. Montana State trying to snap the Grizzlies' 5-game winning streak. Brown with the ball on a yo-yo, crosses over to the free throw line, gives to Lecolot, lets it fly, no, missed it from 3. Rebound Montana. Another good look from 3. Montana State starting 0 of 4 from the 3-point line. Montana with the basketball. Handoff up top. Martin moves to his right, throws back to his left. Whitney's got it. Crossing over into the lane, stops, turns, floats, no! Lecolot the rebound. Osibor had the defense. MSU now moving from right to left with a 22-18 lead. 6:15 to go in the first half. Brown on the cat head logo, moves left to the elbow, throws it back out to Lecolot on the right wing. Chest pass to Ford in the right corner, looking for Osibor. Back to Ford, out to the right corner for 3, no good. And the rebound grab by Montana. The Bobcats have started 0 of 5 from downtown. More open looks, not falling from beyond the arc. That has been an issue for Montana State since day 1. Vasquez over to the right wing for Martin. Takes it to the left wing now, still with the bounce. Martin scanning, gives to Vasquez, turns to the top, tries a 3, got it. Josh Vasquez left 2 open from the top. He's in the double figures now with 10.
And that's a factor of Vasquez and Whitney cross. Osibor and Lecolot are on him. So 2 bigs guarding 2 guards, and the bigs don't communicate, don't get the switch, and it leaves Vasquez wide open.
Bobcats up by 1 with the ball, bouncing to Osibor, jams it down with 1 hand. What a terrific bounce pass from Lecolot. Osibor slipped his man and used a 1-hand hammer. Bobcats up by 3.
And that's a first Bobcat field goal in 10 minutes and 20 seconds, and yet they hold a 3-point lead.
Vasquez working on Brown, down to the right block, nowhere to go, has to get rid of it. That's some great defense. Out to Thomas, crowd appreciating the defensive effort. Thomas, whistle, offensive foul. Deshaun Thomas has just picked up his 3rd foul as he tried to use an arm to get Osibor off his body. How about the defensive intensity on that possession by Montana State?
Yeah, and Darius Brown, they cleared the entire floor, put 4 guys in the corners, and let Darius Brown and Whitney go one-on-one, and Whitney cannot get past him. Darius Brown is potentially the best defensive guard in the Big Sky Conference right now.
Oh, and he just loves it. You can see it on his face. Just a big sarcastic smile when he knows he's got somebody on skates. Montana State with the ball to our left, leading by 3, winding toward the end of the first half. Whistle. Oh, and they called the offensive foul. Fuller with a gentle shoulder, Martin with a big dive, and Fuller has picked up his first.
Easy call. Fuller leaned in with the shoulder, extended the arm. You know, if you're Lionel Martin, you're sitting there with 2 fouls saying, how am I going to get out of this? Fuller gave him an easy out by just running him over.
Montana with the basketball to our right. They trail 24-21 with 4.5 to go in the first half. Mac Anderson had it knocked free by Brown, loose on the floor, and Brown picks it up, and then he got undercut by Mac Anderson. That's his second, and Darius Brown amping up the Bobcat bench. And that'll send the Bobcats 3/4 court all the way down to the other end of the floor for a couple of free throw attempts.
Phenomenal. I cannot think of a game where a team has this will be the 21st, 22nd free throw attempt in the first 15 minutes of play. It has been all of Bobcats offense. They got 18 of their 24 at the line.
The first is good for Darius Brown, who had a big performance at the free throw line against Idaho State. Hit all the free throws down the stretch, hit all 10 in that game. Puts this free throw up, and that is good as well. And Darius Brown continues to be locked down at the stripe. And Montana with the ball to our right, trailing by 5, down 26-21 with 4.25 to go in the first. Whitney out in the right corner, picked up by Brown again. Boy, how about that defense? Whitney takes it out to the top, working on Brown, staying in front of him, gets a screen to the free throw line, gets rid of it to the top. 9 to shoot. Crowd making some noise with this defensive effort. Martin up to the top, 3, handoff to Moody, 2, and then 1. Puts up the contested 3. It's a shot clock violation. That'll take us to a break. Sold out Worthington Arena applauding the defensive effort. We'll step aside for the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 3:50 to go in the first half. Montana State leading 26-21 over Montana. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. The Bozeman Come On In Hotel and Suites is a proud sponsor of MSU Athletics and the Montana State Alumni Association. The Come On In allows you to escape the ordinary while enjoying their numerous hotel and guest room amenities. Visit ComeOnIn.com to book your stay today. Also, shout out to Simpkins Holland, which sponsors our Behind the Mic feed live on the Montana State Athletics YouTube page and on the Bobcat Sports Properties Facebook page. Montana State leading 26-21 over Montana. 3:50 to go in the first half. It is a celebratory vibe at Worthington Arena. Women's basketball teams all roaming around as well. They're coming off their win from earlier today. Football teams in the house. They're dropping their Big Sky Championship banner at halftime. And although Montana State has hit 3 first-half field goals, Brian, the Bobcats lead by 5.
Yeah, unbelievable. You only have 3 made shots. You go 10 minutes without a field goal. You hold a 5-point lead and have a chance here in these last 4 minutes to really build some momentum going into the break.
Osabor down to the left block. Throws it back out to Patterson. Back into Osabor. Working on Oki. Draws a double. Kicks it out to Patterson. Then to Ford. 10 to shoot. Into Osabor. And it got knocked free by Oki. Pushed ahead by Vasquez. He goes to the rack and can't get it to go. Blocked out of bounds. And it's staying here with the Grizzlies. Well, that was Brown with the defense against Vasquez. And then Patterson and Oki each went after it. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Bobcats.
And really a great play by Darius Brown to not foul, but force Vasquez to not be able to score in effectively what started as a 1-on-0 break.
Grizzlies with the ball to our right. They trail by 5, 3.5 to play in the first. Vasquez gets free, misses the right corner three, tipped out of bounds, and it is going to Montana State. Bobcats got away with one there.
Yeah, they might have got lucky because Vasquez is a good enough shooter. You don't want him having those looks. He's already got 2 makes here on the evening.
Vasquez, the leading scorer in this game. He's got 10 points, double his per game average this season. Montana State with the ball to our left. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Fuller lets it fly. Missed it from the right wing on the 3-ball attempt, and Montana has the rebound. Bobcats 0 of 6 from downtown. Anon Moody playing with 2 personal fouls picked up by Brown. Gives to Vasquez, guarded by Ford, who's also been a defensive stalwart. Vasquez moving to his left, up to the top, trying to turn the corner on Ford. Stops with the Big Sky logo and gets rid of it up to the top. Around to the right wing for Martin, only 7 to shoot. Martin back to Vasquez. He works his way to the elbow, tries the jumper, that's no good. And Ford has the rebound, outreaching Lalo Oki, giving up a bunch of feet. Montana State with the ball, setting it up 26-21, 2:25 remaining in the first half. Brown on the eye of the cat head logo. Crossing over to his left, picks up the dribble. Throws to Fuller on the right elbow. Works his way into the paint. Fuller, lefty hook. Rimming, no. And Montana has the rebound. Bobcats have started 3 of 14 from the field today, but they have 20 made free throws. Montana with the basketball to our right. Lonell Martin Jr. throws over to Moody on the left wing. Steps to his left. Lets it go for 2 and got it to go. Anon Moody playing with those 2 personal fouls. 5 points in the first half.
Yeah, and Moody Vasquez are really the 2 right now that have the aggressiveness on the offensive end. Montana otherwise feels pretty passive.
Montana State with the ball to our left. Fuller throws to Ford on the right wing, into Osabor on the post. Skip pass into the left corner. Patterson tries a 3. No, off the inside of the iron. Long rebound, and Fuller tips it to Osabor. Back into Osabor on the left block, trying to back down, drawing a double. Passes out of it. Moved around the perimeter. Here's Brown. Bounce into Osabor on the left block. Spins, goes up, got blocked. Ooh, and a foul. Oki now has picked up his 3rd foul. And so even some of this foul trouble in the first half will certainly carry over to the second half, and the Bobcats are going to the line. Not only is dairy delicious, but it also promotes health as well. Just 3 servings of dairy a day improves overall wellness and may reduce the risk of developing some chronic diseases. It's a quick, convenient, and economic way to make sure you are staying strong and healthy on and off the field. All right, Osabor going to the line. 1:20 left in this first half. Bobcats up by 3 for now. The first free throw is no good. Osabor will line up another. Osabor right now with 9 points today, 2 rebounds. Coming off a double-double last time out against Idaho State. Osabor upset with missing that, just walked all the way back to the half-court line. Gets the bounce pass from the official. Looking into the student section with their spirit fingers. That shot is in and out. Osabor missed 2. Montana State with a 3-point lead, and now Brown takes it away in the backcourt from Josh Vasquez. Another steal from Darius Brown. Top 10 in program history in steals in a single season. Brown up at the top, tries a 3. Ring it up! Brown the theft, then the 3. Cats up 6.
Big time shot. Darius Brown calls his own number after getting the steal.
Now Moody fires inside. Bannon got stripped and fouled. Hard foul, but not intentional. Fuller went over to go pick him up quickly. And then Fuller kind of got shoved out of the way while he was trying to pick him up. And then, chit-chat.
And now we get to have a review. You know how much I love reviews?
I do, and you know what it does? It gives us an opportunity to remind you that you can see every pulse-pounding, buzzer-beating play in astounding detail with a patient experience that's second to none. Experienced doctors and advanced technology. Vance Thompson Vision, the official LASIK and cataract surgeon of the Bobcats, is your home for laser vision correction. Learn more at VanceThompsonVision.com. So they are going to take a look at this thing.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's my thing. When I become czar of college basketball,
Can't wait.
We're going to do two things. Number one, all reviews are only allowed to have a 1 minute shot clock.
Okay.
If you can't get indisputable evidence in 1 minute, there's not indisputable evidence. And the other thing we're going to do is go to the ELO finish because it's the most exciting way to play. But I don't have any votes. There's no way that I'm going to be that, but that's what we need to do.
So yeah, they're taking a look at it right now. There was no intent there by Fuller for sure. Question is, did he kind of come down with that left arm and graze Bannon on the nose? And so that's what they're looking at right now.
Yeah.
But,
you can graze him on the nose if it's a basketball play.
and it was.
And he was going for the strip. And granted, he was definitely going to make sure he didn't get the shot up, but that's part of playing the game. That's a basketball move. There's nothing there.
Yeah, he was a little off balance, and Fuller's chest is what knocked Bannon down. And then, you know, Brown kind of went to help Bannon up. Fuller kind of pulled Brown back. Then Martin came over and kind of got in between Fuller and Bannon, and then that's when Martin and Fuller started to talk a little bit. So, you know, yeah, they're not adding anything, just the common foul. That's what we expected. And hey, you know, with the way this game has been officiated, tightly and consistent, for sure consistent, it will help keep any of that from kind of, you know, snowballing. So even if you don't maybe like the style, it certainly has been consistent in the first half.
Yeah, 25 fouls here in the first frame. It's a lot of fouls in a first half especially. Second half, sometimes you get the foul fest toward the end, but usually in the first half, it's tough to get to 25 team fouls.
So Bannon will go to the line. Only 47 seconds left in the first half. Bobcats are in front, but Bannon again with 2 free throws. And the first is well short. Bannon, the junior, all-conference last year. One of the great players in this league, but he was held in check in that first minute with just first meeting with just 5 points and 4 fouls.
And Bannon has not had the year I think he expected to have. I think most people expected him to have. Just been a little bit off.
Next free throw is good. So Bannon splits the pair. His numbers still look pretty darn good, though. 15 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 4 assists a game.
Yeah, no, he's a quality player. There's no question. Bobcats here looking for 2 for 1. 45 seconds on the game clock here in the first half.
Montana State with the ball, leading by 5, up 29-24. Bounce underneath. Ford makes the catch, hands it off. That got tipped, stolen, and Montana has it. Maybe outthought himself there. So Montana with the ball. Brandon Whitney into the front court. He's got 4 points in the first half. About a 5-second differential between the shot and game clocks. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Handoff to Knapp. 9. Knapp with the bounce at the top. 7. Throws into the right corner. Vasquez 5. Steps to his left. Can't get it off. Up to the top 3. Knapp on the drive. Whistle. Charge! Osabor lined it up, and great Osabor takes the charge just outside the restricted area.
Yeah, and there is no restricted area on a pass. That's only on a shot. So even if he had been in the restricted, it doesn't make a difference. As the Bobcats go to the bench, get Raekwon Battle in here for the last 6.5.
Playing with the 2 fouls. Montana State with the ball, up 29-24. The Bobcats will inbound.
Griz with 14 first half turnovers. That exceeds their.
Patterson, right wing 3. Bang! Tyler Patterson expires the first half with a 3-ball from the right wing, and that will electrify almost 7,000 at Worthington Arena. Tyler Patterson has gotten hot over the last couple of weeks, and that was an absolute dynamite 3 from the right wing at the end of the first 20 minutes. Let's take a break. Midway through the 305th Cat Griz, Montana State leads Montana 32-24. Stepping aside from the First Interstate Bank broadcast position, you're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. Welcome back to the halftime show. Montana State leading Montana 32-24. Join Champs New Kids Club presented by Billings Clinic Bozeman. Your $25 membership fee gets you game tickets, Bobcat gear, and more. Sign up today at msubobcats.com/Champs Kids Club. Montana State shot 29% from the field in the first half, 5 of 17. They do end up going 2 of 9 from the three-point line. Brown and Patterson with a couple of Wendy's three-pointers, and they go 20 of 24 from the free throw line in the first half. Montana 40% from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Rebounding battle identical, 3 offensive, 9 defensive, 12 apiece. Montana State has forced Montana into 14 turnovers. Grizzlies have 5 steals, 2 assists on 8 field goals. Bobcats have 7 steals, Darius Brown with 3. So Brown now with 52 steals this season. That's tied for 10th most on the all-time single season list. Johnny Perkins in the 91-92 season had 52 steals that year. Bobcats individually led by Great Osamor with 9 points today. Darius Brown with 7. 6 for Raekwon Battle at foul trouble. Patterson had 3, Bello had 3, Ford had 2. Montana led by Josh Vasquez with 10 points, Anand Moody with 5, Bannon with 5, and Whitney with 4. Ryan, that was a strange first half for Montana State. 20 of their 32 points come at the free throw line, and they didn't hit really any shots until very late in that first half.
Yeah, and what it shows is how aggressive they were on the offensive end. They didn't do very good shooting the ball, but they didn't have to shoot many that were uncontested. Montana on the other side averages 12 turnovers a game, number 1 in the Big Sky Conference. They have 14 in the first half, so the Bobcat defense was just a whole different level throughout that first 20.
All right, we'll step aside. It's halftime, and the Bobcats lead the Grizzlies 32-24. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. State currently leads Montana 32-24, and right now Got a big, beautiful highlight video going from the season that was for football. All of the football team is out at center court right now. They've got the Big Sky Championship trophy held high above their head, and the banner just behind us is about to drop. So you are going to hear a massive, massive applause here in just a moment. So yeah, it's going to be right behind us, and they've got that up there, and all those conference football championships. There's going to be another one added from 2022 going on today. But special moment, a special day for all these young men, a part of the football team too. You know, everybody loves playing the game, but you know, these types of moments with your teammates walking around at the basketball game, sold out, and watching a banner fall right now, these are the ones they'll remember forever. And there it is. New banner, 2003, 2005, 2010, 2011, and now 2022. Of course, many championships before that, but, you know, got to continue to fill up the banners. So that first championship of the 20s is being raised and celebrated now in front of a sold-out Worthington Arena. All right, let's get to the station identification. We will pause for 10 seconds. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball. I'm Keaton Galogly, sitting next to Brian Freeby. Will Gordon is back in the studios today, and Montana State leads Montana 32-24 at halftime. We'll take a break. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball, presented by Learfield.
They're going to be a tough out in the tournament. If by chance Sac State's able to win that today and the Bobcats can finish things here at the Brick, effectively it will lock Montana State into that 2 spot unless
disaster or euphoria happen.
All right, we will step aside. When we get back, we'll have the start of the second half. Montana State leads Montana 32-24 at halftime. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. State Bank broadcast position. We're getting set for the second half. Montana State leads Montana 32-24. Tyler Patterson knocking down a late three, expiring the first half. Shout out to the women who won today. They defeated Montana 75-73. Tricia Binford and her crew are 19-8, and they are in first place in the Big Sky at 12-3. They own a 1.5 game lead over NAU and a 2-game lead over Sac State. All right, Brian, here we go. Ready for the final 20 minutes of this matchup. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I think it's more of the same. The Bobcats have got to keep that defensive intensity, take away the threes. You can give the Griz 3 threes and a half, and they aren't going to be able to score many points, as we saw. 24, not enough. And they've got to dominate on the glass. It was an even first half on the glass. I'd like to see Montana State do that again. Force so many turnovers is part of the reason it was even, because there just weren't many Griz shots to go chase.
This game is brought to you by the Montana State Fund, covering Montana workers with workers' comp and safety know-how. Workplace safety, you're naked without it. More at safemt.com. Montana State was led by great Osibor in that first half with 9 points. Darius Brown had another 7 points and 3 steals. Next up on the single season steals list is Nico Harrison from the 94-95 season. He had 53 steals that year. Right now, Darius Brown tied for 10th all-time with 52. Raekwon battle with the baseline J, rimming, no, and Montana has the rebound as we open up the second half. Bobcats up 32-24. Grizzlies with it to our left. 19:40 to go in the second. Bannon gets inside, missed the lefty layup. Bello really stayed out of the way. Bobcats pushing. Patterson steps to his right, lets it go. Got it! Tyler Patterson for 3. His 4th consecutive game with multiple three-point field goals.
In the first half and start the second half the same way. Good job by Tyler Patterson finding space in transition.
His last 3 games, he was 9 of 18 from downtown. Battle nearly with a steal. Montana able to recover to our left offensively in the Road Maroon Unis. Hand off to Moody up at the top. Bounce got kicked. Nice job by Jabril Bello. And Anon Moody really working hard to try to pass it around the big wingspan of Bello.
Yeah, it's a long way to get that around. He had Bannon for an easy deuce. If he gets it through there, Bello makes sure to keep Montana on this end.
Montana State up leading 35-24. This is their largest lead of the day so far. 19 minutes to go in the second half. Remember, the Bobcats really, they thrived at the free throw line, but they had about a 10-minute stretch without field goals at one point in that first half. Moody off a screen, tries a topside two. That's no good. Bello the rebound, and Montana State right now with a chance to grab a little bit of scoreboard momentum. Brown to the elbow, the jumper, short, rebound battle. One dribble, hops into the lane, lays it up, no. Put back attempt, no. And Montana comes away with it. Ooh, he just missed it after he got to the rack.
Crafty little move to get through a small seam.
Now Bannon with a three the other way, and that's good. Well, caught that as a two, rather, had his foot on the line.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call. That was a two-pointer. They'll review that at the first media.
Cats up 35-26, pass tipped. Ooh, and it's going back to Montana. Moody got a piece of it, and then it bounced off of Patterson's hand, so a turnover by Montana State.
Yeah, Bobcats a little careless there, committing their 10th turnover of the game.
Grizzlies with it. They go from right to left. Deshaun Thomas hands it off over on the right wing. Lonell Martin moving to his left beyond the perimeter. Gives to Whitney. Bounce to Bannon out at the free throw line against Bello. Picks up the dribble. Bannon looking to get rid of it. Still looking, and shovels it to Moody. Comes off a screen, behind the back pass to Bannon. 7 to shoot, still out at the perimeter. Martin now crossing over, fall away mid-post jumper. That's no good. Offensive rebound, and then it's taken away by Raekwon Battle. Would have been a shot clock violation anyway. It was down to about 1 second on that clock. Bobcats with the ball after a nice stop. Given to Raekwon Battle up at the top. He moves right with the dribble, down to the right block. Out at the baseline now, gets underneath, lays it up, and got it to go with the right hand. Good patience by Raekwon Battle. He's got 8. First field goal of the second half for Battle.
It's good to see Battle get going second half after only playing 8 minutes in the first.
With a couple of fouls, some foul trouble by Battle in that first half. Bannon on the drive, lays it up, that's no good. And Raekwon Battle has the rebound, streaking down the left sideline, weaves out to the elbow, pump fake, hands it off for Bello at the free throw line, and Montana State will reset, leading by 11 with 17 minutes to go in the ball game. Darius Brown moving left around a screen, throws it back to Fuller at the top. Takes it over to the right wing, gives it to Patterson. He's at the top and gives to Brown. Brown trying to drive, going to the rack, lefty layup, swirls it home. How about that flash of a take by Darius Brown, who has 9 points today. Remember, he had 23 in the first meeting in Missoula.
And the Bobcats are sensing a chance to put some weight on the Griz throat right here, up 13 and really in control if they can take away easy shots.
Moody on the drive, got fouled by Tyler Patterson, and Moody will go to the line for a couple of free throws. Tyler Patterson picks up his second.
And that's kind of what Moody did in the second half in Missoula. He hit some threes in the first, and then second half it was all drive, 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 drive. And you almost wonder if that's not going to be the game plan for Montana coming out of the break.
You're going to feel a little more comfortable attacking like that in the second half since he played so much with 2 fouls in that first half. First free throw is good for Anand Moody.
And then when you add in an officiating crew that's calling it tight,
Yep.
you know, not right, wrong, or indifferent, they're just calling it tight. They're consistently calling it tight. And in doing that, they're going to benefit teams that are more aggressive offensively.
And now Moody with a cut here that they spotted after that first free throw. So the trainer hopping over it. They'll bandage up Anand Moody, who loves playing the heel. He would be a terrific wrestling star. He loves being hated on the road. Anand Moody now at his 3rd different school, a 6th-year senior. Played at Southern Utah, played at North Dakota. His older brother, Nate Moody, won 5 national championships in football as a wide receiver at North Dakota State. Second free throw by Moody is good. Knocks them both down, and Moody has 7 points overall tonight. Bobcats leading 39-28 over the Grizzlies. 16:25 to go in the ball game. Just 3 games left in the regular season after tonight. Bellows pass tip. Battle recovers down to the left block, dribbles, goes to the rack hard, and lays it in with the right hand off the glass. What a finish by Raekwon Battle.
And Battle with 3 attempts right around the rim here. He's being aggressive, trying to take advantage of getting in the lane and getting some officials to blow the whistle.
Vasquez hands off to Moody, going to the cup, lays it up, good, and 1. They're calling that on Bello. Boy, it again really looked like he went straight up there, and Jabril Bello will be hit with his third. Bello really wasn't even all that aggressive in going after trying to block Moody. And so Moody going to the line with a chance at a three-point play, and Danny Sprinkle saying that's 2 times you've made that same call, which is true. We'll take a break from the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 16 minutes to go in the ball game. Montana State leads by 11. It's the Bobcats 41, the Grizzlies 30. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. Bridger Brewing Three Forks is now open for lunch and dinner. Stop by Wednesday through Sunday to enjoy our delicious food, craft beers, and cocktails. Bridger Brewing beers are now available at your favorite grocery stores and gas stations across Montana. Cheers to every journey being better than the last. It's been a heck of a journey today. The Bobcats leading 41-30 over the Grizzlies. 16 minutes to go in the ball game. Brian Raekwon Battle really asserting himself at the start of the second period.
Yeah, I love the way he's taking it to the rim, being aggressive. Bobcats overall shooting the ball well in the second half. 4 for 7. A lot of that has been Raekwon Battle himself. The Griz, no threes, 2 for 6. But now they're the ones going to the free throw line for their third time. Cats have yet to get there in the second frame.
Montana State hit 5 field goals in the first 20 minutes. They've now hit 4 field goals in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Raekwon Battle first to double figures for Montana State with 10 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Darius Brown's got 9 points today, and great Osabor with 9 as well. 3 Wendy's three-pointers for the Bobcats tonight, and they've got 4 assists on 9 field goals. All assists sponsored by Aware Mental Health Services. Anand Moody trying to complete a three-point play and does. So Anand Moody now up to 10 points in the ball game. Bobcats lead cut to 10, and Montana State has the ball to our right. Darius Brown having a great game today, has the dribble up at the top of the key. Moving left around an Osabor screen, gives to Fuller, out to Battle on the right wing. Battle with the bounce, looking for Osabor in the post, doesn't have it, turns the corner to the baseline, now hands off to Osabor, fires to the left block for Fuller, goes up and draws the foul. Oh, and that's the 4th on Lalo. So 4th on Lalo Oki. Foul trouble continues to mount for Montana. Caleb Fuller going to the line. He had averaged 8.5 points per game in that last swing through Weber and Idaho State. He's certainly a guy who can score.
Yeah, he's absolutely a guy who could score. He had some good looks in the first half. Wasn't able to connect, but he did make both his free throws and has given himself another shot.
Knocks down the first free throw here. Montana State now 21 of 25 from the stripe. That's their first free throw in the second half.
Yeah, and the Bobcats, again, just they're doing a good job of understanding these officials are going to call it tight. So get into paint, attack off the dribble, attack off the pass. You're going to give yourself easy opportunities if you do it.
Fuller hits them both. He's 4 for 4 from the free throw line for 4 points. Montana State up 43-31, 15:30 to go in the game. Bobcats try to sweep the Grizzlies for the first time since 2010. Bannon down underneath, pump fake, lays it up, got it to go. Another mistake defensively underneath. That's an easy lay-in for Josh Bannon, who's got 9 points. Montana State with the ball. They're up by 10. Brown over the left wing, gives it to Fuller at the top, works his way into the mid-post, weaves down to the baseline, picks up the dribble, skip pass over to Ford on the left wing. Ford has the dribble, give it to Raekwon Battle in the left corner, back to Ford up top. He tries a deep three, count it. Robert Ford from way downtown. He can shoot the three. A Wendy's three-pointer from Robert Ford III. Montana State back up by 13, their largest lead of the day. Moody off a screen, quick trigger left wing three, missed it left. Osabor the rebound. Bobcats with it from left to right. Know what's below. Tap, click, or call 811 before you dig. Brought to you by Montana811.org.
And that's really what Montana's offense has come down to, is they just got to make threes. If they don't, they're in trouble.
Fuller misses a topside three that was open. That was left short, and Montana has the rebound. Moody over the left wing, bounces into the post for Bannon. Bannon working his way into the lane, turns lefty hook, swish. Got it to go over Caleb Fuller. Josh Bannon starting to roll now. He's got 11 points, more than half of that since the halftime break. Cats up 11, 14 minutes to go. Both sides trading baskets here. Battle, mid-post right side. The jumper, rimming, no. Montana the rebound. Haven't seen too many of those mid-range jumpers from Raekwon Battle in the second half. Grizzlies with it, trying to set up their offense. Vasquez has had a big day, working his way up to the top. Throws to Mac Anderson. He's in the mid-post now, trying to get rid of it, and does. Out to Vasquez out of the left wing. 10 to shoot. Vasquez to his left, triggers the three. Airballed it short, out of bounds. Bobcat basketball. Right in front of the student section, not where you want to airball it.
And the Bobcats get a little bit lucky there because Bannon had gotten a little bit of an angle, had that offensive rebound, had time on the shot clock to put it back up, but he just couldn't come up with it.
Right, there was it didn't hit the rim, and there was about 2.5 seconds on the shot clock when Bannon had a chance to make that catch. But you're always so anticipating that it's going to hit the rim. It really throw you off sometimes on those air balls, especially from a shooter like Vasquez. Montana State with the ball up by 11 after a stop. Brown gives to Battle at the top, fires into the post. Osabor makes the catch, goes up and draws the foul on Mac Anderson. And great Osabor going back to his second home at the free throw line. Mac Anderson picking up his third foul. Osabor 7 of 10 from the stripe today. 7 of his 9 points the free throw line.
Pretty amazing when you have a guy coming off the bench who's getting to the foul line now 12 times here tonight. That just shows that Montana State front line is just a different level.
First free throw is good from Osabor. He's in the double figures now. He has become more and more of a vocal leader on this team. And he'll have a big Jabril Bello-size hole to step into next year. Next shot is good. You can see a lot of Jabril Bello's legacy in great Osabor's game. Montana State up 48-35. 13 minutes to go in the second half. Vasquez up at the top with the bounce. Bounces it to Moody over on the right wing, picked up by Ford. Given into the post for Bannon, working against Lekalot. Bannon backing down, spins into the mid-post right side, goes to the right hand and kisses it off the window with a right-handed hook shot. Tough finish by Josh Bannon. He's got 13 points tonight.
And he's carrying the offensive load here in the second half for the Griz. He's got half of their points thus far.
4 of their 5 field goals. Lekalot, top side three ball. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Sam Lekalot for 3.
And that's the one that Travis Secure, they've been playing off Sam. He's had 2 really good looks at it. Comes through on that second one. The Cure with a little bit of disgust as that one puts the Bobcats up 14.
Lekalot certainly can shoot the 3, just hasn't done it a ton this year. Bannon into the post, has to get rid of it. Shovel pass to Vasquez, 9 to shoot. Back to Bannon against Lekalot out on the right elbow. 5, Bannon trying to back down against Lekalot. 4, into the left corner now. Vasquez for 3, that's no good. Lekalot the rebound. Bobcats get another stop. They've got a chance to start extending things here, leading 51-37, just under 12 minutes to play in the contest.
Yeah, big moment here for the Griz more than the Bobcats. Got Bobcats with a chance to really open this thing up.
Brown slowing the tempo down with 10 seconds to shoot. Brown draws a foul as he tried to split between two defenders, and Mac Anderson has just picked up his 4th foul, and that will take us to a timeout from the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 11:42 to go in the ball game. Montana State leads Montana 51-37. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. For the win, donate to the Bobcat Club's Free to Win campaign to help us reach our $3 million goal supporting student athletes. Montana State leading Montana 51-37, 11:42 to go in the second half. And Brian, as slow as the offense was for Montana State in the first half, is as hot as it's been in the second half.
Yeah, 55% from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. The Bobcats, believe it or not, have a 5-3 advantage on made threes against the Griz, the number 1 3-point shooting team in the league, against the team near the bottom of the league. But Montana State's defense has just been all over the Griz everywhere, and they just don't have enough to beat you 2 at a time.
Montana State doubling up Montana on the glass in the second half as well, 8-4. I know that was a key you pointed out as well.
Yeah, I love the fact that Montana State's defensive intensity is unwavering. They have had it for every single possession all night. Even when they've made mistakes, they've been on point in terms of intensity and effort, and that's something that's going to carry them through even into the Big Sky tournament.
Lecolot pumps the 3, works his way into the paint, goes up and gets blocked and fouled from behind. Sam Lecolot will go back to the line. And the 3rd foul on Josh Bannon, who has gotten hot in the second half. Sam Lecolot trying to assert himself, and an easy call. I know it's been a tight game, but yeah, he definitely got him with the body.
Easy call.
So Lecolot heading to the stripe, where he's really done most of his damage at the free throw line lately. First free throw is no good. 9 of his last 11 points before tonight had come at the free throw line. Has hit a 3-ball tonight. Sophomore from Sheridan, Wyoming. And he misses them both. Ooh, don't see that too often from Sam Lecolot. Montana State up 51-37 over Montana. 11:25 to play in the ball game. Vasquez hands it off to Brandon Whitney, who's been quiet in the second half. Gives it to Bannon, who's had the hot hand for the Maroon, and he fires a pass underneath. Whitney got lost, and Brandon Whitney had an easy lay-in. Now give him 6 points today.
Yeah, and the Bobcats have had a couple of situations on those switches. They've lost guys for easy buckets. Got to clean that up here. Don't want to give Montana hope because you give them easy deuces.
Battle to the free throw line, gets to the mid post, gets in between 2 defenders, got blocked, got it again, and is able to finish it on the second try. A resilient bucket from Raekwon Battle, who's got a dozen today.
So athletic. He hit the floor and was right back up.
Now Bannon rips the baseline and is able to lay it in. Josh Bannon continuing to hang with it. He's got 15, which is his per game average.
And that's 3 straight times Montana scored pretty much uncontested at the rim. That's going to cost Danny Sprinkle a few hairs on the back of his head.
Battle out of the right wing. Lob into the post for Osabor on the right block against Bannon. He's got the size advantage, draws a double, kicks it out. Brown open for three, got it. Darius Brown for three from the right wing. Darius Brown, another dozen points today. Darius Brown in his first 2 games against the Grizzlies has racked up 35 points. Bannon got blocked by Osabor, and then he got his own rebound and was fouled on the floor after the offensive rebound. Let's see who it's going against. And it is great Osabor, who has now picked up his first foul. Not the worst thing in the world. I mean, kind of the silver lining here is for a guy who's had a lot of foul trouble, that's his first foul in a game that's been very tightly officiated.
Absolutely, and Great actually is really good about not fouling. He defends well without it. Where I think Danny Sprinkle's frustrated is a couple of those switches that have gotten missed have involved screens that he's part of.
Darius Brown will take a seat. What a performance Brown has put together again today. 12 points, 3 assists, and a couple of steals as well. Bobcats up by 15 midway through the second half. Moody trying to drive, kicks it along the baseline, gets it out to the right wing for Brandon Whitney. Driving, floating, off the glass, got it to go. Brandon Whitney, another high degree of difficulty shot falling. Whitney's got 8. Bobcats with it to our right. Into the post, Bello, double, turns. Ooh, he lost it out of his right hand, and it goes out of bounds. Montana State 6 threes today. Montana only 3, so the Bobcats doubling up the Grizzlies in 3-point field goal makes. We've got a timeout called by Montana, which will take us to a timeout as well for the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 9:38 to go in the ballgame. It's Montana State leading 56-43 over Montana. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. Dance cam is rolling, and there's plenty to dance about if you're a Bobcat fan. Up 56-43 over the Grizzlies with 9:38 to go in the ballgame. If Montana State were to win today, it would be the first time the men and women would combine to go 4-0 in the Brawl the Wild rivalry series since 1999. Montana's Ribbon Chop House has been serving Rocky Mountain communities for over 20 years. Our ability to grow has come through our commitment to Rocky Mountain hospitality, a concept which incorporates a casual attitude with our commitment to loyalty, safety, service, and quality food. We hope you'll be our guest at one of our Montana locations soon. Sit at First Interstate Bank broadcast possession. And Brian, it's been a much better second half for the Bobcats than it was the first half.
Yeah, the offense is clicking without question here in the second half. Defense hasn't been quite at the same level, but it's still held the Grizzlies to 0 for 3 from behind the arc. And you don't like giving up those easy deuces, but again, we've said it all broadcast long, Montana cannot beat you scoring 2 points at a time. That's just not the way their team is built.
Now, they've only hit 3 threes today. Montana hits 9 a game. But I think the more impressive number here is Montana's only attempted 9 threes, so they don't even feel like they're getting to a spot where they can attempt their most prolific shot. Montana with the basketball to our left, trailing by 13, 9.5 to play in the ball game. Moody bounce into Bannon, gets underneath against Bello, forces it up and got it to go. And Bello being very cautious there to not pick up a fourth personal foul in a tightly officiated game. Battle try to rip the baseline, gets underneath, and they call the foul on Moody. Just rode him, and that'll be the third foul on Moody, who had picked up 2 in the first half.
Yeah, good attack right there by Raekwon Battle. Puts some pressure on Moody, and Moody just picks up that third. He did a good job of avoiding the foul trouble that he got early in the game.
Patterson to the mid-post, turns, hooks, swirls, no. Ford a putback attempt, that's no good. And then it's grabbed by Montana after a hop. Here come the Grizzlies from right to left. Martin gets closed out by Bello. He wanted a three-point shot. Handoff for Vasquez up at the top. Trying to get rid of it. Patterson swarmed him. Give it back to Martin up at the top of the key. Martin a calm dribble out of the center logo. Moving to the right, over to the wing. Hands off for Bannon in the right corner. 5 to shoot. Bannon into the lane, 4. Bannon with a bounce, 3. Bannon still in the paint, 2. Turns, jumper, missed it badly. Oh, and it's out of bounds. Raekwon Battle went up to go grab the rebound, but it took a funny hop, and it went right through his hands. A mistake by the Bobcats.
Disappointing after such a good defensive possession right there. Shout out to Robert Ford here. He's had Moody pretty much the entire game when Ford has been in there, and he is doing an amazing job just limiting his touches, much less his shots.
Yeah, Ford has been one of the unsung defensive heroes for Montana State this season. Whitney inbounds from the baseline, caught by Deshaun Thomas, who's been swamped in foul trouble today. Hand off to Vasquez at the top. Back to Whitney on the left wing. Whitney goes right around the screen, gets to the elbow, into the post. Nowhere to go, 7 to shoot, throws it back out. Bannon, weird 3, that's no good. Tipped out of bounds, and it should be Montana State ball. It is. Bannon did not look smooth. That looked like a rusty hinge on the release.
Yeah, it's kind of his shot. It's not the prettiest thing. It's been effective. He has not shot the ball well from 3 this season in its entirety, especially compared to what he did a year ago when he was an all-conference player.
Montana State with the ball from left to right. Just over 8 minutes to go in the game. Bobcats have controlled the entire second half, right now up 56-45. Patterson out of the right wing, throws it into Fuller in the right corner. Give it out to Brown at the top. 10 seconds to shoot. Brown to his left, to the elbow, pulls up, pumps the jumper, now lets it go. Rimming, no. Rebound Montana. Grizzlies from right to left. Bannon with his head up across the timeline. With a head of steam. Working against Bello underneath. Lays it up and in. Bannon took it right at Jabril Bello, who again is playing a lot of passive defense because he just does not want to pick up that next foul.
6-0 run by the Griz here against the Bobcats. 3 lay-ins have got them back into single digits. It's a 9-point lead.
Brown to the left elbow. Shovel pass up top to Fuller. Working around the perimeter over on the right wing. Throws to Battle. He's got the dribble down to the mid-post right side. Battle's jumper is good. Raekwon Battle's got 14.
And that's the difference between Montana State, Eastern Washington, and everybody else. They got a guy who can just raise up and say, 6-0 run? Not anymore. 6-0 run's over. Bobcat ball.
Moody at the top, pestered by Patterson. Whistle, and they call the foul. A gentle hip check as Tyler Patterson got fooled on the pump fake. Third foul on Patterson, and we will take a break for the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. Here's your score. Montana State leading the University of Montana 58-47 with 7 minutes to go in the game. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield.
Get your tickets today at MSU Bobcat.
Over 75 years and counting. By Members' Choice, this financial institution is not federally insured, but each account is insured up to $250,000. 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Montana State leads 58-47 over the University of Montana. Bobcats looking for their 19th win overall and their 12th win in Big Sky play. Ryan, only 3 more regular season games left. Cats have 2 games at home next weekend, and then that Monday affair at Eastern Washington close it out.
Absolutely, and Montana State, it's all about getting ready for Boise, because the reality in the Big Sky is you got one team who's going to play after that, and the Bobcats want to be that team. They're capable of being that team. I mean, as a fan, I would love to see an Eastern Washington Montana State championship game to go to the NCAA tournament.
That would be some elite basketball, but for now, Bobcats trying to set themselves up for success and trying to secure that number 2 seed. Can't lock it down in stone yet, but you're right there. 7 to shoot for Montana coming out of the timeout. Whitney throws to the left baseline for Moody, and he knocks down an easy open 17-footer. He's going to do that every day.
Yeah, just another assignment kind of blown there. Bobcats switching has really got them off balance. Tyler Patterson that time just kind of lost track of Moody.
Montana State up by 9. They've led by as many as 15. 6:20 to go in the contest. Brown up at the top of the key. Throws a bounce pass to Battle on the right wing. Works his way into the paint. Pulls up from 10 feet out. The jumper is no good, but he draws the foul. And Raekwon Battle will go to the line as Josh Vasquez picks up his first foul.
Well, that's a big call, too, for the Bobcats, because 9-point game. Grizzlies with a little momentum. They've got themselves on an 8-2 run. They had a chance to get a stop and go score.
So Raekwon Battle heading back to the line for a pair of free throws. And that first free throw is no good. You know, for Montana State, with the way Eastern has played this year, like they're obviously the team of destiny. Nobody thought they'd go 15-0 in Big Sky play. And even though, you know, the regular season championship is on life support, Bobcats certainly are set up for success over the next couple of years as Raekwon Battle knocks down the second free throw. Like what they're doing this season, what they did last year, it's not a flash in the pan. They've got the guys to sustain this.
There's no question about it. And if I was Eastern Washington, I would not want to go into the league tournament undefeated. They need to get that out of their way.
Bannon misses a free throw line jumper, offensive rebound, kick out. Vasquez burying the 3 from the right wing after the offensive rebound. Montana State has had a couple of mistakes here on the defensive end. It hasn't been an effort thing, but man, they have let Montana kind of crawl back into this thing. Cats still up by 7. Pass underneath. Bello makes the catch. 2-hand jam. Beautiful pass by Raekwon Battle, and Bello finishing it underneath.
I like that movement on that possession. The Bobcats get a better player movement, created the open lane, gives him a quick 2.
Only 5 points for Bello today. Bannon turned to the corner, laying it up and in. Josh Bannon continues to roll tonight. He's got 21 in the ball game. He's had some big performances against the Bobcats the last 2 years.
And the Griz shooting 54% in the second half. That's keeping them in it.
Brown underneath to Battle. They got a whistle and a foul before the shot. Ford was on the floor, and they're giving it to Josh Bannon? Yeah, Josh Bannon.
That's 4 on Bannon.
5:03 remaining in the game. Bobcats leading 61-54, and that foul will put the Bobcats at the free throw line for a 1-and-1, so big call there.
Yeah, Robert Ford needs to make these convert. Bobcats just 5 of 8 in the second half from the line.
That free throw line's been a little up and down. Front end is no good. Big miss there. And Montana has the rebound. 5 minutes remaining in the game. Cats up 61-54. Moody crossing over, gets to the rack. Lefty layup. No, couldn't spin it off the window. Montana State has the board, and Brown at steadying force up at the point guard position. That veteran point guard leadership after the transfer from CSUN. Well, he's got 2 years left, including this year, so 1 more year after this year to run this offense for the Bobcats. Brown trying to find Osabor the post, lobs it underneath, and Thomas knocks it out, and they just called the foul on Deshaun Thomas. That's his 4th. More fouls on Thomas after he picked up 3 in the first half. Travis DeCure now pointing to the free throw totals by the Bobcats. Montana State has 33, Montana has 9. And Osabor getting an opportunity to go to the stripe. Front end is good. You know, when we talk about the sustained success that is brewing here, Great Osabor is one of those guys that certainly plays a factor in that. And now we've got a prime lending timeout for the Bobcats. Prime lending home loans made simple. We're keeping it here with 4:32 to go in the game. Montana State leading it 62-54. And Ryan, the Bobcats are right on the cusp of trying to close this out, but they've had some serious defensive breakdowns.
They have. They're so focused on taking away the 3, which you've got to be, that it is opening up the backside of that defense. And you see Montana State giving up too many easy ones here in the second half. Grizzlies shoot 52%, but again, only 1 for 5 from 3. They've only got 4 made threes in the last 5 games, which have all been wins for Montana. Those wins, they've averaged 10 made threes a game.
Now Montana State, meanwhile, 4 of 5 from 3 in the second half. All 3-point field goals sponsored by Wendy's, but that's a great sign. And Tyler Patterson with another 2 threes today, so his 4th straight game with multiple 3-point field goal makes, although as well as he's actually shot lately, Sprinkle still has a little bit more of a ceiling for Patterson. He really wants Patterson to be getting up closer to 3 or 4 makes, which is, I mean, that's lofty ambition, but still he's capable.
Oh, he's capable of it, and with the construction of this front line, he's going to have good looks as long as he's moving without the basketball. He's just got to knock those down.
All right, one more coming for Osabor after the Bobcat timeout. Each team with 2 timeouts left, and that free throw is good. Another nice ball game for Great Osabor. He's got a baker's dozen, give him 13 points today, and for Osabor, he's scored in double figures in 6 of the last 7. Montana State back up by 9 with 4.5 to play in the ball game. Bannon guarded by Ford beyond the perimeter. Throws to Moody, who works against Osabor. Knocked it away. Vasquez picks it up. Throws to Bannon at the top. Works into the paint. Finger roll is up, and that swirls in. Josh Bannon the star today. He's got 23.
And 18 of those 23 here in the second half on 9 layups. Basically, that's what he's been getting. A couple free throws, 8 layups and a couple free throws in the second half.
Osabor hands it off to Battle. Pulls up at the top for 2. Got it. Raekwon Battle, the long jumper, knocks it down. Boy, he's such a life raft sometimes.
Yeah, last 4 minutes of it seems like every league game has been Raekwon Battle time. He makes the plays, scores late when the team needs it.
Battle, 17 points on 6 of 12 shooting tonight with 5 rebounds and a couple of assists. Vasquez into the paint, kicks it back out to Moody at the top, working his way underneath, lays it up with the right hand. No, and they called the foul on Robert Ford, and Danny Sprinkle cannot believe it. So Ford picking up that one, his second, and that will send us to the under 4 media timeout. Set at the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. 3 minutes, 28 seconds to go in the game, and the Bobcats are in front. They lead 65-56 over the Grizzlies. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball, presented by Learfield.
goal in three and a half minutes here, but they have done a great job of getting to the free throw line. 4 of their last 5 possessions have resulted in a pair of free throws.
Bannon lining it up. And that is good. So Bannon will get another one here. Big time game for Josh Bannon, looking for his 25th point. And he got it. Jabril Bello getting ready to check in here. And Bello coming in for Caleb Fuller. So the Cats are going to go big here in the final 88 seconds. Cats up 67-63. Montana State has led all night. Brown across the half-court line. Cats up by 4, trying to finish it off. Another tight contest between these two longtime rivals. One of the longest and most played rivalries in college basketball. Brown at the top, takes it to the left wing. Back to Ford on the right wing. Into the post, Osibor makes the catch, goes up, lost it, and draws the foul. And great Osibor will go back to the line as Lalo Oki picks up the foul, his 5th.
And that's fortunate for the Griz, because if that's not on Oki, that's on Bannon, and Bannon's gone.
And Oki was skipping and hopping all over the place, and now they're going to go offensive, defensive subs with Fuller back on and Bello to the bench. Kind of crazy that the defensive player of the year from last year, Jabril Bello, taking a seat on the defensive side late in a close game.
Yeah, it's hard with the way this Montana team is playing. They've got 4 guards out there with Bannon, and Bannon might as well be a guard.
First free throw's no good from Osibor. Well, and in the way that they're calling it. Again, consistently, but with the tight whistles, that has put Bello in a tough spot. Osibor's next is good. Splits the pair. 14 points for great Osibor. He's 12 of 16 from the free throw line today. Bobcats up 5. 1 minute remaining. Bannon down to the right baseline against Ford. Gets himself into the paint, turns, missed it, and the Bobcats have the rebound. And Montana State will slow it down, leading by 5. Ford nearly lost it. It's loose. He did, and the Grizzlies force the turnover. Hand off to Moody. Right wing 3. Got it. Ooh, dagger. That is a big-time bucket. Montana State had a chance to really run it down, and Anon Moody, with his team down by 2, trying to goat the Cat country that's up on their feet now.
And with 43 seconds left, Montana will almost certainly come out and play defense. They'll try and get a stop. If they can get a stop, they can go for the win, coming back the other way. And right there, Ford, I don't know what exactly happened, whether he thought he got bumped and was going to draw a foul, but a very untimely turnover right in the middle of the floor, as Montana was going to have to pretty much foul, and Bobcats were going to make free throws and walk away.
Instead, it's a 2-point game. Bobcat basketball. 43 seconds left in this contest, so you can run it down as low as 13 seconds, but you gotta have a bucket here. So when you need points late, where are the Cats gonna go tonight?
Raekwon Battle, man, it's late game situation. He's the guy. I'd imagine he gets a touch somewhere around the foul line and is able to pick his direction, decide whether he wants the jump shot or attack off the dribble. Montana's got a small lineup out there, so he's going to be going against probably Brandon Whitney would be my guess. If I was Travis Secure, I'd put my best defender on Montana State's best perimeter scorer.
Raekwon Battle, 17 points on 6 of 12 shooting. Great Osibor with 14. Darius Brown with another 14 tonight. On the other side for Montana, Josh Bannon, 25. Anon Moody, 19. Just hit that huge 3 to keep the Grizzlies in the game. And Josh Vasquez with 13. 43 seconds left, 30-second shot clock, and the Bobcats will inbound, leading by 2. Try to close this out. They have not trailed at any point in this ballgame. No press. Brown cruise across the timeline. Montana State up 2, try to complete the sweep against the Grizzlies. Winding that clock down. Brown with a bounce. Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. Brown bounced to Ford over on the right wing with 7 to shoot. Ford driving the baseline, 5, hands off underneath. Bello goes up, he lost it. Osamor the rebound, his putback is no good. It goes out of bounds, and it's staying with Montana State. And Montana just kind of fumbled it. First, Bello fumbled as he went to the cup, and then Montana had an opportunity for a rebound. They bobbled it and then lost it out of bounds.
You want to look and see who the ball went out of bounds on.
And they're going to take a look to see who the ball went out of bounds on. With Montana State up by 2 with 14 seconds left. Really not a lot of rhythm offensively on that possession. The call is confirmed.
Yeah, and Montana runs a quick double team at Darius Brown to take away the set. Ford gets it. He's got a wide open lane. Doesn't take it initially, then drives it. Finds Bello. You're thinking that's going to be a flush and a highlight. Bello kind of stumbled with it. Fortunately for the Bobcats, it hit the rim to reset the clock, and they get the ball back. So now Montana's going to go for the steal. If they don't get it, they've got to foul the first guy who touches it.
Bobcats up 2 with 14 seconds left. Montana State to inbound, and a foul is called. And they're putting that on. Anand Moody, his 4th.
Intentional foul right there. Moody is a fifth-year senior, plays it kind of coy, acts like he didn't mean to, but obviously Montana wanted to put Ford on the line, and that was the guy they fouled.
Ford is a 77% free throw shooter. His first is good. Okay. Needed that, so now it's a 3-point game. One more. Yeah, it'll take the ice out of the freezer. Won't quite put the game on ice. And now a prime lending timeout called by the Bobcats. Prime lending home loans made simple. Well, Brian, you said if Montana State was going to win, they needed to hold the Grizzlies to about 6 or fewer 3-point field goals. They're sitting at 5. Overall, they've done a great job around the perimeter.
Absolutely. They defended the perimeter great. They've given up a few too many easy ones here in the second half, and that's allowed Montana to keep this thing close. When that lead got up to 14, felt like the Bobcats had a chance to run away with it.
At First Interstate Bank, it's about supporting our communities and cheering on our teams. Thank you for letting us be your trusted community bank for more than 50 years. First Interstate Bank, built for you, member FDIC. Cats trying to close it out on the cusp of another 20-win season. Right now sitting at 18 with a chance for a win tonight and then 3 more games after today. Bobcats 11-3 in Big Sky play, firmly in that number 2 seed spot right now. Eastern Washington did win again earlier today over Eastern Washington with an 89-point outburst. They won 89-77. Ford at the line for the second free throw, trying to make this a 4-point game. This shot is up and good. Clutch free throws by Ford. 4-point lead for the Bobcats. 11 seconds left in the game. Whitney ahead of steam into the paint, and they had a jump ball force. Darius Brown, one of the all-time great defensive seasons in Montana State history during the Big Sky season, just forced the jump ball on Brandon Whitney. The possession arrow keeps it with the Grizzlies, but what a huge stop by Darius Brown.
That's amazing hands to get in there and not get a foul.
8.5 seconds left in the game. Cats up by 4. Inbound to Moody. Tries the long 2. Swirls it home on that baseline. That was a 2-point shot. Still a 2-point game now with the Cats in front. And a timeout called by Montana State. That's their last timeout. Darius Brown has been the heart and soul of the Big Sky's best defensive team in Montana State. Right now he is credited with 3 steals, which puts him at 52 this year, which is tied for 10th most in the single season list in Montana State history. Just what an incredible effort, particularly in Big Sky play by Darius Brown.
Yeah, without question here. His hands, his anticipation is phenomenal. He loves it too. He takes a ton of pride in it. You can see him just smiling after every one.
No doubt. Now, where would Montana State be without Darius Brown this season? What an incredible transfer, and a guy who has just become part of the heart and soul for Montana State this year, as the Bobcats are on the cusp of ending the Grizzlies' 5-game winning streak, trying to sweep this season series, and the football team, men's team, and women's team are trying to go a combined 5-0 against the Grizzlies this year.
It makes every Bobcat heart feel really good. The Bobcat men have got 6 more seconds to get that done. All it comes down to is getting the ball in bounds here cleanly, force the foul, make the free throws, and that pretty much will put the bow on a Bobcat sweep.
And in that mess, in that potential 5-0 mess this year, there could be 2 Big Sky Conference championships. Football has already taken care of business, and the women, with their win today, are a game and a half up in first place with 3 games to go, sitting at 12-3. Montana State will inbound, having go the length of the floor, leading by 2 with 6.5 seconds to go. Brown running baseline, gets it into Battle deep in the backcourt, and he does quickly draw the foul from Brandon Whitney. And Raekwon Battle, the guy who knocked down the game-winning free throws in Missoula, gets a chance to go back to the line and make it a 2-possession game with 5 seconds left.
Yeah, the Bobcats gave up a big 3 at the end of that game in Missoula. Deshaun Thomas knocked it down to put the Griz up 3, but Raekwon Battle, he got fouled on a 3, made all 3, and that gave Montana State all they needed to secure that victory in Missoula.
Raekwon Battle, the silent assassin, another 17 points on 6 of 12 from the field, and he knocks down that free throw. He didn't look super confident as it left his hands. He kind of snatched his hand back to his chest, but that looked as pure as can be. Another one coming. This one is up. That is good. Raekwon Battle makes it a 4-point game with 5 seconds left. Inbound to Whitney, taking it up to the half-court line. Just don't foul. Vasquez, left wing 3, doesn't matter. Ball came over. Danny Sprinkles sweeps the Grizzlies. He punches the air emphatically, and Montana State has taken down Montana twice in the same year for the first time since 2010, and it's the first time since 1999 that both the men and women completed sweeps in the same year, and both basketball and football are a combined 5-0 against the Grizzlies this season. Montana State has won it. We'll take a break from the First Interstate Bank broadcast position. Bobcats 72, Grizzlies 68. Taking a break. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. to the Ribbon Shop House post-game show. It's a victorious one. Bill Lamberty is smiling from ear to ear. That's how you know the Cats are on top of the Griz today. Montana State defeats the University of Montana 72-68. The Bobcats have won 3 of the last 4 meetings against their arch rivals, and today they have ended the Grizzlies' 5-game winning streak. Montana now goes to 14-13. They are 8-7 in conference play. Montana State now 19-19. They are 12-3 in Big Sky action. And Brian, 6,996. A heck of a showing today.
Yeah, 7,000 people make it out, and they get the show they wanted. Not only was it a great basketball game, but the Cats win it, and the Cats do it with a little bit of style, a little bit of flair, and man, that feels good.
They got to parade around the Brawl of the Wild, the Great Divide Trophy. They dropped their Big Sky Conference Championship banner for football as well. So all in all, a pretty darn good day to be a Bobcat as Montana State has won 72-68. Raekwon Battle, kind of the quiet star. Again, 19 points in 27 minutes. Everything he does is just so athletic, so it's hard to say he's kind of quiet, but it just, it didn't really feel like at any point in time he like totally took over this game, but just this is like his average. 19 points, 50% from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, just an incredible player.
Yeah, he really stats out really, really well. He only had 6 at halftime and a little bit of foul trouble, but his ability to close is unprecedented. I mean, I don't even know the number, but I would guess 5 or 6 Big Sky games. He's been the guy in the last 4 minutes that just made the plays, made the free throws, got the steal. You go back to that Southern Utah win with that steal and the and one. I mean, he just makes plays when you got to have them late game situations.
No doubt. And, you've got to be a mental giant in order to knock down shots late in close game situations, even when, you have not particularly shot well early in ball games. So we've seen that from him time and again, where even if he gets off to a bad start, when the lights are their brightest, he handles his business.
Without question. And, when you have him and then you have a guy like Darius Brown who's the same way, making all the plays late. You think about the jump ball he forced there when the Bobcats surged up 14. It's because of Darius Brown's steals and intensity and just building some rhythm for his team.
Only 4 times in program history has somebody accumulated 60 or more steals in a game. Darius Brown just on the outside of being able to potentially get there. He's up now to 52, which is 10th all-time in a single season in Bobcat history. All right, plenty more to get to. Lots of people are filing out. You're probably getting into your car now and just waiting for that slow parade across the stop sign as you get out of the brick. So we've got plenty more to keep you company as you get out of range and across the state of Montana after everybody descended here in Bozeman. Bobcats have won it over the Grizzlies today, 72-68. We'll take a break from the Ribbon Chop House post-game show after this. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. What are you doing with the wireless mic?
She brought her own mic.
Back on the Ribbon Chop House post-game show, Montana State has defeated Montana 72-68 in the 305th meeting in this all-time series. The Bobcats are now 151 and 154. Bobcats at one point had nearly a 30-game advantage. Montana came back. They took their first lead in this all-time series in only 2018, and now Montana State, winning 3 of their last 4 meetings against the Grizzlies, are kind of right there with an opportunity within the next year or two to even that thing out again.
Yeah, that was a sad day when that lead went away a few years ago, but Montana State has gotten back, and they feel like they are on the cusp of a nice era here as long as they can keep the band together and just keep winning games.
Well, it's a great era across all of athletics right now with the way things are moving and kind of trending in the right direction. And I think one of the other big things about it, too, is just when Montana State is succeeding, it doesn't feel like it's flash. It doesn't feel like it's smoke and mirrors. It doesn't feel like they're playing over their head. And if anything, it almost feels like this men's basketball team in particular is still playing a little below where their ceiling is right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see how they finish this regular season out with their next 3, and then how they do going into the Big Sky tournament, because I agree with you. I think there's a ton of potential just sitting there waiting to explode. Jabril Bello really hasn't been himself the last few weeks. Darius Brown just kind of got back to where he was. Raekwon's been pretty consistent throughout. But then you got guys like Tyler Patterson who can come off the bench and just be a dagger guy for you. So Bobcats have huge amounts of potential. They just got to put it all together at the right 3 games down in Boise.
Well, nice to see the 3-ball falling today for the Bobcats. 4 of 6 in the second half, 6 of 15 overall, 40% from 3. All 3-point field goals are sponsored by Wendy's. So nice to see that Brown hit another 2 Wendy's threes, Patterson another 2, so that's 4 straight games now where Patterson has hit multiple 3-point field goals in this contest, and then Ford and Lekalot with a couple of threes as well. And Great Osobor, a heck of a ball game as well, 14 points, 12 of 16 from the free throw line. Raekwon Battle had 19, Darius Brown had 14. The Bobcats are victorious today. They are 19-9 and an opportunity to go, or they are now 12-3 in Big Sky play. And Brian, to put together a 20-win season this year, which they're now only 1 win away, is a remarkable performance considering what that non-conference schedule slate was.
It is, and honestly, 20 wins is the threshold, especially at the major and below level. Like, your ability to win 20 games is just not easy. I mean, there's so much that you got to do. You got to stay healthy. You got to play well. You got to be consistent. You got to win at home. And this team has done that. They've been really resilient, and that's why I'm just excited for what could be coming in Boise for them.
They've got a graphic up on the video board right now. The overall Brawl the Wild score for the year. Montana State is in front, 8-2. Not too shabby for the Bobcats. And, look, the success comes and goes, failures comes and goes. And, one of the things that stood out during the Bobcat Hall of Fame ceremony last night was just how many of those guys and women who are now in the Hall of Fame dealt with adversity. They had their downs, they had their ups, but they had to overcome something on their way to greatness. And you see that over the years as well. And Montana State has gone through a lot to get to the point where they are right now, where you can feel so confident and so good about the guys and the women that are going out on the floor night in and night out.
Yeah, and you just love it's such an easy group to support on both the football side, the men's side, the women's side. You just have a lot of high character, high quality people that are also winning, and they're being good, and boy, you can't but want to get behind a group like that.
But nobody's more copacetic after a win against the Grizzlies than Bill Lamberty, who's walking around shaking hands like now. Right? He's the mayor of Worthington Arena because, well, he is. All right, let's take a break on the Ribbon Chop House postgame show. Montana State wins it today, 72-68 over the University of Montana. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball, presented by Learfield. State has defeated Montana today 72-68. At Montana's Ribbon Chop House, our staff is dedicated to creating extraordinary experiences that raise the bar. In each of our communities, enjoy premium steaks, fresh seafood, and award-winning baby back ribs. We look forward to sharing a little Rocky Mountain hospitality with you. Only 3 more regular season games left for Montana State. 2 of those 3 will be here at home. Montana State will take on Sac State at 7 o'clock on Thursday, and then they've got Portland State after that on Saturday. That game on the Saturday will be a 4 o'clock affair, and then off to Eastern Washington for the regular season finale on a Monday with a 7 o'clock tip, and then the Big Sky Tournament. Montana State will more than likely start on March 5th, and then hopefully they win, which means they would get another day off after that. So for Montana State, another healthy win. And, you know, the atmosphere here, Brian, now that we've been here and in Missoula this year, I mean, the Missoula crowd was just, it was a little subdued in that game. Today here, I mean, it felt like we were maybe, if we had an alley-oop, like one of those alley-oops to Raekwon Battle, the roof of this place, I mean, it'd be in the stratosphere right now.
Yeah, it's a wood roof, so I wouldn't feel good about that thing holding up if that had happened. There were plenty of plays and plenty of things to cheer about, most importantly that final score. But, yeah, it's interesting because we talked about it when we were over in Missoula. There were a lot of empty seats, and you just see that the program doesn't have the momentum going in the direction that it had maybe 5 years ago. On the opposite side of that, Montana State has got the momentum going in a big way.
Yeah, and it's cool when you can celebrate everybody as well. And, you know, it just feels like such a meeting place. And not just the men's game, the women's game as well. There was a lot of football players. There was a lot of people. So many people that went to the women's game also came to the men's game as well. You know, they had over 3,500 at that game, or almost 3,500 at that game as well. So you can feel that sense of community continuing to build, because if you're in Bozeman, if you're a Montana State fan, where else in the world would you want to be than to watch both of your basketball teams beat Montana on your home floor?
Yeah, especially when both are in the top 2 in the conference, and both the Montana teams are kind of more in the middle of the pack.
So the two basketball teams right now are a combined 24-6 in Big Sky play. All right, we'll talk with head coach Danny Sprinkle in just a little bit here, but let's get to our McDonald's delivery of the game, presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's of Montana. Brian, what are you thinking for that?
Well, I'm going to give it to Raekwon Battle. He delivered the victory with those last 2 free throws, and that is the thing that matters. And the Bobcats walk away because of the way Raekwon Battle finished out.
So Raekwon Battle, the McDonald's delivery of the game. He has continued to deliver time and again. And the best thing about Raekwon Battle is we got another year coming up of him as well. Battle and Brown both back next year. Obviously, great Osabor back again next year among another bunch of guys as well. And look, there's still a lot left this year, but, you know, just in the back of your mind, you do think, like, how sustainable is this? And when you look at the types of guys that are coming back next year, very, very sustainable.
Yeah, without question. I mean, you have a foundation, and you're going to have to add to it. You're never going to be complacent, but my goodness, to have the front line that Montana State has had these last 2 seasons is just outstanding, and it definitely makes life a lot easier for everybody else when you've got those big guys down low.
And in the transfer portal era, you know, even if you miss on a high school recruit here and there, which even the best recruiters do, you can still plug some holes, and that's exactly what it has been for Montana State this season. Both, you know, recruits from the last couple of years, transfers from the last couple of years, guys like Bello or, you know, Raekwon Battle, but also guys who just came in this season alone in, you know, Ford and Brown and those types of guys. Where would the team be without that type of veteran leadership at the guard position?
No doubt about it. Point guard play in college basketball is everything, and you've got 2 of them, probably the best duo in the conference in terms of having 2 guys that can both really start in a lot of places. Robert Ford has accepted the role of being one of your top defenders and everything else, but man, this is it's a luxury that they didn't know they had when things started up October 15th.
Let's take a look at the First Interstate Bank scoreboard here. All but one game is final. Northern Arizona is starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. They defeat Idaho today 72-50. Eastern Washington continues to roll. They win at home against Northern Colorado 89-77. They've got the Weber Idaho State trip next week. And then Montana State will meet them back in Cheney on the Monday. Sac State defeats Idaho State today 70-65 in the game that Montana State fans will be keeping an eye on. Weber State currently up by 1 over Portland State. Weber State leading 45-44 with 7.5 to go. If Weber were to lose that game, that would virtually lock up the number 2 seed for Montana State. Eastern Washington right now is 15-0. Montana State now 12-3 after the victory today, as the Bobcats have defeated the Grizzlies once again for the second straight time this season, and they have won 3 of the last 4 in this all-time Brawl the Wild rivalry series. Montana's Rib and Chop House has been serving Rocky Mountain communities for over 20 years. Our ability to grow has come through our commitment to Rocky Mountain hospitality, a concept which incorporates a casual attitude with our commitment to loyalty, safety, service, and quality food. We hope you'll be our guest at one of our Montana locations soon. We'll take another break on the Montana Rib and Chop House post-game show. The Bobcats beat the Grizzlies 72-68. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball, presented by Learfield.
I sent Colin just to remind him.
Oh, yeah, cool. Back of the Rib and Chop House post-game show. Montana State defeats Montana 72-68. I'm Keaton Galogly alongside Brian Preby. We'll get to head coach Danny Sprinkle in a bit, but he's a hot commodity in this town right now, so he will certainly come and join us in just a bit. In the meantime, let's get to our First Security Bank highlights of the game, and we can hear those highlights right now. It's like an Indian design, like a Native American design. Back on the after the First Security Bank highlights of the game. You hear those now as Montana State has won it 72-68. Giving you a rundown of the stats after this victory for the Bobcats today. Montana State 44% from the field, 6 of 15 from 3, all 3-point field goals sponsored by Wendy's. And the Cats go 32 of 41 from the free throw line, 78% from the stripe, while Montana goes 48% from the field, 5 of 13 from 3, and 15 of 17 from the free throw line. Bobcats out-rebound the Grizzlies today, 28-23, so not quite as lopsided as you wanted to see, Brian, but pretty darn close. Cats with 9 assists on 17 field goals, all assists presented by Aware Mental Health Services. Bobcats with 14 turnovers, that was a little high today, and 7 steals, 3 by Darius Brown, who's now top 10 in the single-season steals category at Montana State. On the other side for Montana, 8 assists on 24 field goals. That was a nice sign for Montana State. 15 turnovers and 6 steals from the Grizzlies. For the Bobcats individually, Raekwon battled 19 points on 6 of 12 shooting. 14 points from Great Osabor, who did play more minutes than Jabril Bello today, who still isn't quite back into his rhythm. Darius Brown tonight, another 14 points. And it just feels like every bucket Darius Brown has scored this season has just been absolutely massive. Also, by the way, for Raekwon Battle, he is a little over 900 career points, so another 19 today. He's approaching 940, so right on the cusp, has a chance to get to 1,000 career points by the end of this season, which would be an impressive feat. Overall at Montana State, he's a little over 750 in the blue and gold. Finishing off some of the numbers for Montana State, Tyler Patterson, another 6 points. Robert Ford had 7. 5 points for Jabril Bello in 19 minutes. Caleb Fuller had 4 points, and Sam Lekelot hit a big 3 off the bench for his 3 points today. Over on the other side for Montana, they were led by Josh Bannon, 25 points on 10 of 20 from the field. 21 points from Anand Moody. He had went 6 of 10 overall and 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Josh Vasquez, 13 points in this ball game and 9 points from Brandon Whitney, who goes 3 of 5 from the field. So for Montana, you know, we told you they've got a very short rotation, and they had just 4 different players score in this ball game. So we can kind of continue to see that from Montana, that short rotation. How often you see a team right there at the end, but only had 4 players score?
Only had 4 players score, and 2 starters put up donuts. Deshaun Thomas has been their second leading scorer here in Big Sky Conference play. For him to not score and Lionel Martin to not score, that's amazing defensive effort by the Bobcats, taking away that 3 ball and forcing the Griz to really settle for 2 at a time.
You know, it was kind of weird. It was such a weird defensive game for Montana State. On the one hand, they performed so brilliant in some aspects, but they also gave up some really easy buckets that kept Montana in this game late. Like, how do you view that defensive performance?
See, I think it's good because what you've done is you said this is how they have to beat us. They have to make threes to beat us. We said it from pregame show. Danny said it. The coaching staff was committed to selling out to take away the 3, which means you're going to give up some 2s. You'd prefer they were contested, harder shots. But regardless, you've said they can't beat us unless they make 3s, and 5 made 3s was not enough. Montana needed to get to 7, 8, 9 to have a shot.
Yeah, pretty impressive here for Montana State as they win it 72-68 with Sac State and Portland State due up next for the Bobcats, both at home, and then that Monday game. And don't forget, we've got couple more Cat Chats over at the Rib and Chop House. That will be at 6:30 on Tuesday nights. And then we'll also have the Bobcat Insider TV show going up on those Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock on the CW. All right, we got another break to get to, but on the other side of this timeout, Danny Sprinkle will be due. Bobcats win it 72-68. You're listening to the Rib and Chop House post-game show. This is Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield. back one final time on the Ribbon Chop House post-game show. Montana State has defeated Montana today 72-68. Danny Sprinkle is MIA, so we are joined now by the second best voice we could get, assistant coach Andy Hill. Coach, congratulations on the win. We got to start just with the atmosphere here between the men's and the women's game. You know, combined over 10,000 people came through Worthington Arena. What was it like from your perspective, just on the bench, hearing the fans and hearing everybody get behind this Bobcat squad today?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great basketball environment and a great basketball game, so it was super fun to be a part of, and yeah, just awesome in here.
Montana State, too, in this game, a great defensive performance as well as actually Danny Sprinkle is jumping over here, and he's running around now. But tell me a little bit about what you saw from that defensive performance today.
Well, I think if you look at Montana's team, it's flipped a little bit from the first time we played them. The first time they had a little bit different pace. They've picked up the pace, and they've started shooting more threes. They're leading the league in threes, percentage-wise, and I think makes. And so our you know, we needed to take the three away. And, yeah, we gave up some twos. Like Coach Preby said here, the paint's going to be a little open. But at the end of the day, I think they had how many, 4 or 5? 5 threes, which I think lately they've been making around 9 or 10 at a high clip. So that was really the key, and the guys did a good job. They were locked in all week, and they knew the game plan, and for the most part, minus a couple little mess-ups, they did a great job.
In the first half, you guys forced 14 turnovers. 7 of those were steals. That really fueled a lot of the offense and a lot of the trips to the free throw line. What was it about that created all those turnovers?
Well, we picked up a little bit. You know, we got in them on some DHOs and ball screens, and we were more aggressive than we had been. And part of that was a game plan just to get them off the three-point line. You know, you can't let them play horse out there, and a lot of teams were helping on penetration and letting them kick and hit threes, and so we really wanted to try and do a good job of taking that away, and that extended our pressure a little bit, and you know, hopefully, I think it bothered them a little bit. Yeah,
in Missoula, they out-rebounded us, which was a pretty big surprise, especially by 14, 10 offensive. You come in tonight, you go plus 5 on the glass, only give up 5 offensive rebounds. What was the difference from a rebounding perspective?
Well, I thought we did a pretty good job. There were some long rebounds and stuff that we chased down, and then with the switching, it required multiple guys blocking out different guys, and I thought for the most part we did a good job on that. And that, you know, that shows in the stats from the first game. That was a focus. Obviously, they beat us on the glass down there, and so our guards did a pretty good job. I think if I look at it, let's see here. You know, we got a pretty balanced effort. Raekwon had 5 boards. You know, that's great. Sam 3 in limited minutes. Rob's got 2. Darius has got 2, and so those just add up.
Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks for pinch hitting here and stepping in, and congrats on the win.
Yeah, sorry you got the B team. A team will be back. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Go Cats.
Assistant coach Andy Hill joining the post-game show today as Montana State does win it 72-68. All right, let's look ahead for Montana State, presented by Vance Thompson Vision, the official LASIK and cataract surgeon of the Montana State Bobcats. And Montana State's got Sac State coming up next on Thursday, 7 o'clock here at Worthington Arena. And the interesting thing about that game is, you know, when Montana State showed up in Sacramento, Sac State was rolling. They were undefeated at home. Since then, they have absolutely fallen off a cliff. They did bounce back today and get a 5-point win at home against Idaho State, but they have been reeling since Bobcats beat them.
Yeah, they really have. It seemed almost like it popped their bubble there. And they're a tough team. They come in here, they're a balanced offensive team. They have an opportunity. Obviously, what they're fighting for is they're on the verge of being in that 7 through 10 bracket and having to play the extra game. So they're going to have a lot on the line. They're going to come up here with a lot of vigor. I'd expect that. Bobcats effectively have a chance to clinch that 2 spot, no worse, if they can win that game on Thursday evening.
Yep, and right now Weber State is leading 57-53 over Portland State with about 2.5 minutes to go, a little less now. So about 2 minutes to go in that game. So if Weber State wins, they will remain still kind of on the heels of Montana State as the Cats try to lock down that number 2 seed. So the Cats winning it today to go to 19-9, 12-3 in the Big Sky. Montana has their 5-game winning streak ended today, and they go to 14-3 and 8-7 in the Big Sky season. All right, that will wrap it all up. Brian, the heck of a ball game for the Bobcats today and a heck of a day for Montana State basketball.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good sweeps, both men and the women here, and send the Griz back to Missoula not feeling too good.
So the Bobcats win it today. It's a sweep across the day and across the season. The men and women combined to go 4-0 against the Grizzlies, and it's the first time they've done that since 1999. So enjoy it, Bobcat fans. Special weekend and special season so far. Keep it rolling here with just 3 regular season games to go. Thank you to head coach Danny Sprinkle before the ball game. Thank you to assistant coach Andy Hill after the ball game today. Thank you to Will Gordon, our producer today. And for my broadcast partner, Brian Preby, this is Keaton Gallogly saying so long from Worthington Arena. A pleasure to be with you today, and we look forward to talking to you again on Thursday for the matchup against Sac State here at Worthington Arena. Final score for a final time today. The women won it 75-73, and the men have won it today as well with a 72-68 victory. This has been the Ribbon Chop House post-game show. You've been listening to Bobcat Basketball presented by Learfield.